afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Worcester Premier League. Oh my goodness, guys. It is so good to be back. It's Stephen Marty Martinez here on the microphone, live from Tee Up Tap Room here in Worcester, Massachusetts. Just a quick look at the board cam here as we see our gladiators warming up. Scott Moran, Charlie Samios, these guys have made it through to the knockout bracket after a brutal round-robin session with some of the best competitors here in this region. These guys are hungry. They are thirsty for some Premier League action, and we are going to have a great match. But before we get to that here, this was the group stage, the round-robin groups. Jason Smith, Sam Gifford, Steve Krikorian, Fred Kreuger, Charlie Samios, all in Group A. And here in Group B, Scott Moran, Brian Yeager, Nate Smith, Chris Bavota, Mike Parissi. Man, oh man, both of these groups delivered some fantastic darting action. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, we weren't able to get the results of the group stage. Nice little graphic made for everybody to easily see, but the results are available on Dart Connect. So if you do want to go check that out, that is there, publicly available for you. But we do have our final bracket, which we'll get to in just a moment. So this is how the bracket's going to work, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Season 4 play-in main event bracket. It's what everybody's here waiting to see. As you can see in the very top, 4 versus 5, 3v6, they will play. If they move on, the 1 and 2 seeded players. Now how this works, this all comes down to how many legs were won during the round-robin stage. Again, everybody was separated into groups, but it's still dependent on how many legs that these players took. And then if there was a tie, it came down to averages. So the finalized bracket, this is what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Moran, Charlie Samios, as we saw on the board cam, these guys are going to be first up. And whoever wins this game will move on to take on the number 1 seed from the round-robin session, Fred Kreuger, who had an absolute barnstorm. I mean, just a heater of a round-robin event, well into the 70s, even in the low 80s in some of those games that he had. I believe it wasn't until his final game versus Steve Krikorian in his group that he actually dropped a leg. So Freddie Kreuger looking to be a fierce competitor right now. You really have to feel for Scott Moran, Charlie Samios. These guys are no slouches, but you feel that their work is cut out. Whoever does move on, going into the bottom part of the bracket here, after this game, we will have Steve Krikorian and Chris Bavota. Both guys took a little while to get warmed up, finally got their darts underneath them, the wind in their sails, and they should be giving each other quite the game after we see Scott and Charlie take each other on. And those guys, whoever wins, will take on Mike Parissi, plays at a Route 9 sports bar, and framing him quite a bit with his buddy Charlie. He has been lights out all day long as well, topping his group. So everybody so closely contested. We're going to have some great games, guys. If we go back to the board view here, hey, big shout out to Tee Up Tap Room down in Worcester. If you are in the area, again, this is the first time that we've actually hosted a live event. So if you're in the area, come on down. We have 180 signs. It's going to be a luck of the draw later on. Absolutely no reason for you guys to not come down here in person. And if you are just now tuning in, unfortunately, due to some technical constraints, we do not have a Party Marty cam here available. So it's just going to be my voice on the stream. Not going to be able to take a peek at the man himself behind the words. But we do have some cool stuff. Look at this wide shot. Everybody's still filtering. I'm sure a bunch of people are actually getting their signs. So we have a little bit of a wide shot so we can see the crowd if someone hits a 180. Go back to the board view here again. Scott Moran, Charlie Samios, they've been here since, I think, 10:15 this morning? They've been here early, and they are still throwing practice darts. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable, these guys. I can't wait to see what damage that they are going to do against each other and on this brand new Blade 6 dartboard that we have just for this event. It's going to be a fantastic time. And so, let me just communicate to the team that we have on the other side of the streaming wall that we are ready to go. The players are ready. So I've alerted the staff that I am ready to go whenever they are. You can see Joe with his little WPL hat that he's communicating the message over to them. So we should be getting going relatively soon here. Another cool thing about this is that we actually we do have live commentary, live calling with Nick Soldo. Nick the Sure Shot Soldo on the other side of the wall here. So we're really trying to go all out, really trying to make it a fun event. So again, big thank you to T-Up Taproom for hosting us here, hosting us today. We are waiting for these guys to get the go-ahead from our live MC, Nick Soldo. I think they're actually putting the, maybe we can take a peek at that. Oh, they do have the game on over there in the corner, which is hilarious. That's great, but if you are here, be sure to pop in, stop on by, root these guys on because, man, oh, man, they deserve it. Guess while we wait just one more second, we will take a look at the finalized bracket here. Again, our first game of the day is going to be Scott Moran, Fred Kreuger. It awaits the winner of this game, Steve Krikorian, Chris Bavota, Mike Parissi. And here we go to the board view. I'm sure these guys are actually ready. I think this is the bull, so it's a double bull there for Charlie. Scott Moran, this is PDC bull, so Scott has to hit the double, keep it going, and it will be Charlie with the all-important advantage to get things going here. Game on, says Nick Soldo on the other side. And ladies and gentlemen, we are away. What can Charlie do to get off and running here? Finds that really critical treble, finds the ton, so a great way to get things going here from Charlie. Scott loves those 19s, and you can see with that first start how much he loves it. Fortunately, can't find more than one in that green bit, but so close. He'll dial it in as we get later on in the afternoon and evening here. Charlie, no slouch on those 20s. He has been scoring monstrously today. Only able to find that 60, so a little bit of a break and breather here for Scott Moran, who unfortunately that first dart, second dart, no help either. The third dart tried to thread the needle, shake of the head. You could tell that he was not a fan of that third dart. And the one thing that I know for sure is that these guys in different groups, first part of the morning session here, and they are like sharks in the water, even though we've just gotten the game underway here. Great third there from Scott Moran. Even though we just got underway, they can smell a whiff of blood from 1,000 miles away, so not looking to give each other any space, no quarter given. Serious competitors. Scott Moran competed in Season 1, so looking to get back into the league after a 2-season break. Charlie looking for his, oh my goodness, great darts there from Scott Moran. A big 136. Push himself back into contention. And Charlie needs to find something here to hopefully keep himself in the running, only finding 22 after the critical 136 from Scott. And just drilling those 19. Scott Moran taking a step back here. 76 scored. So just over a ton, not able to find that third dart in that 19 segment. 83 punched in, drops the score down to 100. And Charlie, even though starting this leg off, not able to find any pressure here. So Scott with at least 6 darts at a ton. 80 left, going to stay up there. Not sure if he found it. I don't think he did. Looks like he only drills 60 there to leave himself 40. Charlie needs a big visit to put some pressure on that 40, and unfortunately that first dart going to make his life incredibly difficult. Wants to stay there, only able to find 81, I believe, 83 maybe. And Scott looking to take out double 20, moving across to double 10, going up to double 5. Not able to find it, so all around the world, and an unexpected chance here for Charlie Samios. Finds the first dart, double 20. One more dart. Oh, and you can tell from the reaction that he thought he had it. What an effort there from Charlie Samios. And Scott looking to clean up. Unfortunately, he busts it. So from about 2 miles back, Charlie Samios looking to hold his throw. What was a pretty frightening opening leg, but still work to do. Needs to find the double 10. And not able to pull it inside, so nerves from both guys early on. Scott Moran very rarely, misses these single segment numbers, and now double 2 waiting for him in the basement levels of the board. Just high, so going back up to double one, the madhouse. It awaits him. And well low on that third dart. Unfortunate, again, both guys not displaying their best stuff. It was a brief little break between the round robin. Might be a tricky dart to get around. It looks like it's low. So, I thought that was in, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my goodness. Leaving himself 4. So, not too long of a break for these guys. One more time here, double 2. You can tell the nerves, big game darts here. And Scott Moran able to find the opening break on Charlie. But again, you have a feeling that that was not the, well, it wasn't the best stuff from both guys, and I'm sure as this game develops, we'll see, excuse me, a little bit more higher caliber stuff. Scott Moran not able to find anything big to lead off, unfortunately, only finding 41. Charlie Samios finds that big triple, super dart. He was right in the middle there. Oh, my goodness. 81 found, so a little bit of a better start here for Charlie. Scott Moran finding that critical first dart. Might be space, might move. Elects to stay to find that 95. Charlie with the favored score of many stoners around the world. 420 remaining for the man. Not able to capitalize on, well, the brilliant follow, first throw he had, excuse me. Dropping his score down to 396. And here comes Scott Moran drilling those 19s. Scott is one of those players that loves his 19s, much like another, I was going to say Richie Lucier in the area, loves his 19s as well. And sometimes you just have those opponents where the math is different. It's a little bit trickier. You really have to know your math, but if you can hammer away, sometimes it's just as good as those 20s. Unable to find the big green triple that he was looking for, but just moving his way down, Scott Moran. Again, not under a lot of pressure. Charlie, unfortunately, all over this red segment. Not able to find the switch down to the 19s either. So struggling a little bit here in the opening set after securing the all-important bull. It looks like Scott dropping a dart here. Not the best visit from the man himself. So, can he get himself to a comfortable ton-plus out? Looks like he's just low on that third dart. Unlucky finding the 43. Leaving himself 168, so a bogey number found as well. And Scott will be under a little bit more pressure here from that ton from Charlie. Just trying to set himself up here. Finds that important second dart and unfortunately floats the other one into that 5 segment, so he's dropped his score down to a under ton take, but Charlie Samios needs to keep the pressure on if he wants to really put the hurt and threaten on Scott Moran, only able to find 60, so he's down, but he's not down far enough to really make it comfortable. Triple 17 might be the way to go here for Scott Moran. Wanted triple 19. It's a little bit of a different way. Again, he loves his 19, so why not? Finds the 16, and unfortunately the third dart floating around here for Scott Moran, 42. Will leave himself 41, so 146 remaining here for Charlie. Needs to find at least 2 trebles to give himself a chance, and the first dart is just high on, so unlucky. Second dart, I believe, clattered and is low. Only able to, oh, excuse me. Did find that way with that second dart, so 96, 50 left. 9, double 16 is the way. First dart just barely found. Oh, my goodness. Double 16 now for Scott Moran. Well low. Needs to pull it inside by quite a margin, and he pulls it inside by way too much. Too much gas on that one, Scott. Finds 25, and here comes Charlie, double 16 now, and he finds it, so fires back. 2 breaks to open this set. Proving that nerves still very real. We're seeing a little bit better averages from both guys. If you guys are just now tuning in, this is the Worcester Premier League Season 4 play-in event live from Tee Up Tap Room in Worcester, Massachusetts. If you guys have the opportunity to come on down, please do. We'll be playing all afternoon. Luck of the draw to follow at 5:30. Scott Moran looking to try and follow up on that brilliant start here from Charlie Samios. Not able to follow. Some frustration there from Scott. And Charlie has been hammering these 20s and scoring quite well almost the entire day here. So just looking to do more of the same if he can. He wants to just keep cool as a cucumber and keep finding those trebles if he can. Scott so persistent and so consistent on these 19s, not able to find anything in the first 2 visits of this leg, so might be a little bit of panic here. Doesn't want to go 2 legs down. And looks like Charlie not able to find anything worth its weight in gold. A solid 60, but against Scott Moran, this guy can just turn it on out of nowhere. So really wants a solid advantage if he can find it. In the scoring department, looks like nothing to worry about so far. 298 here for Charlie. First dart is in there, I believe. Second dart a little high. Only able to find the ton. Just want to say a shout out to everybody watching live from YouTube. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's awesome to have you guys here. Again, I'm monitoring the chat right now, so if you guys want to say hi, if you have any questions, feel free to ask away, guys. Love you guys. We appreciate you guys. We love the support. And again, these guys need it. These guys have been playing all morning. They've made the bracket stage, and they're looking to fight for a spot in the upcoming 4th season. And Scott Moran really struggling now, not able to convert. Charlie's average has been steadily climbing, and Scott unfortunately hitting a speed bump or 3 along the road that is being built in this game. Looks like 58 found here for Charlie. Scott well behind at 293, needs to start finding some triples. Can't quite do it. I think 47 found. Scott Moran really struggling. Man who very rarely struggles. 60 remaining here for Charlie Samios. So double 20 now remaining. Oh, and he pulls it well low, but still a great bid. Again, he will have another. Ooh, he found the 1 segment. My bad. 39 remaining. Scott Moran is one of those gentlemen that very rarely gets razzled, very rarely gets frustrated in the middle of a game. Keeps his mental game in check. But you can't fault him here, and this is getting a little awkward for Charlie. Double 8 remaining. Not able to find it, so awkward row, a little bit of nerves from both guys here. Scott Moran, if there's any man in this bracket that we have who's going to be able to mentally reset after a disastrous leg like this, it will be Scott. More or less resigning himself to the fate that is this leg. Charlie still has to pull it inside. Gets it done with that second dart there. So 2-1 advantage in the opening set here for Charlie. And Scott looking for a hold of throw as well to match Charlie. Opened with 2 breaks. Charlie able to find the looks like a little bit of a communication error there from someone. And here comes Scott firing away on those 19s again. So persistent and consistent on those 19s. Leads off with a great 83. Charlie looking to follow with a high score of his own here. Doesn't want to get behind the 8-ball too early with Scott. One of the things that I noticed with Scott in the opening round robin is, like all guys, first couple of games maybe not the quickest, maybe not the most consistent. But once he starts getting into the game emotionally, starts developing his rhythm, it's really hard to get him out of it. So Charlie, very lucky to get these 2 opening legs against Scott Moran, but needs to keep the pressure on. Would love to take away the opening set if he can. But Scott holding his throw quite proficiently here. Might be a blocker. Wow, he elects to stay on it with pretty flat darts that might be kind of tough to get around, but able to put 3 in there, so not a great visit, but solid 57 is enough to just keep the pressure on Charlie, who's not able to follow up with any pressure of his own. Scott Moran smells a little bit of blood in the water here and wants to keep on piling on the hurt, and that's a fantastic third dart. Great stuff there from Scott Moran, dropping his score underneath 200. And Charlie taking a little bit of a breather here. Feeling some pressure, not able to deliver the goods, unfortunately. So, role reversal from the previous leg. And Scott Moran looking to just keep on doing what he's doing. Finds that triple 19 to leave himself 108. Well in front of Charlie here. Able to find the ton, I believe. Excuse me, only 60. So 108 remaining for Scott Moran. Could go 20s, could go 18s. Elects to go 19s here. So 51 remaining now. 11 or 19, double 16 remaining for Scott. What a bid this would be to tie up the game, and he pulls it outside, but a fantastic setup and quite a comfortable leave as Charlie is nowhere near, unfortunately. Just looking to try and put himself within range, won't get it done. So Scott Moran looking to hold his throw and force a deciding leg in the opening set here. Can he get it done? Just outside on that first dart. Needs to bring it in. Second dart. He's hugging the double 16 segment. Needs to move it up to double 8. And he pulls it outside after giving the green bit a bear hug. No love returned. And Charlie, unfortunately, so far back that he's not even going to be able to put a breath of pressure on Scott here, who's looking to just clean this up, doesn't want to be faffing about, messing about for too long. Double 8. Needs to walk it inside. Gets it done with the second dart, so we have a tied game. Everyone who is following along on YouTube, Charlie Samios found the opening bull and is looking to try and hold his throw, hold his set. Does not want to get broken here. It looks like 83 found from Charlie Samios. Indeed it is. So Scott under pressure to return the favor. Trying to find a triple. That second dart doing him no love. Only finding 41. So an unfortunate opening round, opening salvo from Scott Moran. Charlie Samios in a great position here if he can just keep piling the pressure on. Second dart is in there. It's golden. And an 81 following that 83 will do. Scott under a lot of pressure now. Finds the first dart in there. Second dart just low. So 95, that's a great follow. We'll be frustrated that he didn't get more as those darts were so close. And Charlie Samios now looking to keep this pressure going. Second dart, I believe, is in there. Likes to go downstairs, doesn't like the angle. Only finding 59, but still about 90 points in front of Scott Moran, who's looking to try and come back in this leg. Looks like another 95 found there from Scott. 83, excuse me. So good pressure. Just about neck and neck as these guys make their way down. Charlie Samios needs a triple, not able to get it done. Frustration on the face of Charlie, not happy. If this was Camping World, he'd be the most frustrated customer in the world. Not a happy camper indeed. Scott, not happy with this visit either. Finding that trip 7. Little shake of the head, little laugh, he knows. Doesn't want to be giving Charlie any chances, any space. Charlie looking like he's hunting still for that trip. 20 goes high again, so only finding 60. These trebles are not coming easy for both gentlemen. Nerves are real. These guys have been here since 10 a.m. Throwing, playing in the round robin. Great visit there from Scott Moran. 79 found, dropping his score down to 156. He's in range. Charlie 176 now. 171. Not able to find the big treble. So he's in range, but both gentlemen at high ton-plus outs. Scott looking like he's going to stay there. It looks like finds the 5. And a sloppy visit there from Scott, only finding 32. Opportunity now for Charlie working with 151. Will not go. Finding that trip 3 segment. So it's been a little bit of a strange opening set. Back and forth for sure. Both gentlemen displaying nerves. But how can you not be nervous in this situation? 1, 2, 4, 119. Sorry, he's 109 remaining, excuse me. Looking like he's going to, looks like he wanted the 18s there, but that dart went extremely wild. Not sure what he was aiming for. 82 remaining now for Charlie, electing to stay on those 20s. Not sure if that was the right move. Trip 14 or bull would have left him with a double 16, or at least just an out, a double in general. Now Scott Moran, 77. Charlie's saying, you can't take it out. 70 remaining now for Scott. 20 bullseye, you feel, is the way. And he misses the big 20. Massive missed opportunity for Scott Moran. Charlie Samios just looking to clean up this 60. Needs to get it done here. Doesn't want to give Scott another chance. Double 20 remaining. Double 10 downstairs. Takes a step back. Takes a breath. Needs to find the double 10. He pulls it just inside. Oh, my goodness. By the width of a millimeter, of a hair, whatever you want to call it. Scott Moran, 17 now, double 20. Been a little bit of a struggle for him. Taking his time. Needs to walk it down. And he gets it done. Scott Moran finds the opening set break on Charlie, who pushed it all the way. Charlie Samios had the advantage, 2-1 in this set, and Scott Moran fighting, battling back to take the opening set. If he wins this set, he will be moving on to face Fred Kreuger. We're still not there yet, ladies and gentlemen. Still a long way to go. We'll have to see how this game develops here in set 2. Both guys have had the opportunity to feel each other's game, feel each other out, feel where they're strong, where they're not. But I have a strange suspicion that Scott Moran is going to keep on drilling these 19s, not happy with his grouping, really wanted all of it. And Charlie Samios, you feel, has to come up to another level here if he wants to walk away with a tie game. Not happy at all, only finding 22, so frustration settling in here for Samios. You could see it on the face there. Scott Moran drilling. Are we going to see the 1-7-1? No, 1-3-3. Third dart just slightly high, but a great visit nonetheless to really put on the hurt. And Samios now just to the right. These triples are not coming at all. And this situation is very different, the dynamic that we've had in the Worcester Premier League. We've been in a studio for the past 2 seasons. We haven't been able to bring this show on the road in person. Pan over to the wide shot here of the little crowd that's developing. More people will be coming in eventually. Charlie Samios just dropping his score down, but Scott Moran already at 1-2-9, 110 remaining. 105 now left. Finds that big treble. 81 to bring his score down to 48. A great leave. And 3-3-1. Samios all the way back, unfortunately. Just looking to try and drill some numbers. Maybe have himself a look in this leg, but it's looking like it's going to be quite desperate if Scott Moran can drill this double 16. This would be a statement dart here if Scott can find this. And he does. What a statement here from Scott. Opening the set up, defending his throw. Those flights in the way, that might have been a tricky shot, but not for Scott, who just elects to just go for it. Samios 59 found, leading off in an okay manner, but treble percentage you have to feel for Samios, not that great here, unfortunately. And Charlie certainly has the game within him. I mean, he had some absolute heaters of games in the round robin, really playing well. Needs to drop those darts, and they're just going high. They're just going high, you feel. Might be nerves, might be pressure. Ron Sargent says, let's go shoot well, boys, in the chat. Thank you for tuning in, Ron. Scott Moran finding that 95. So, again, the pressure has been relentless from Scott today. Samios just above it. Looks like he does find the triple there. Might be a ton. It is a ton. Found for Charlie. So, bringing his score back in front. And Scott Moran here just trying to return the favor. Pips that trip 19 segment. My goodness. So both guys neck and neck, no quarter given like we predicted. And it looks like the Charlie's darts are really starting to settle down a little bit. That's not a bad score, all things considered, 61. Brings the score down to 240. And nerves have such a tricky way of messing with your throw, messing with the mechanics. And if the nerves are so high, you're never going to be able to throw as comfortably as you do when you're just practicing at home or even on league nights. It's a tough, tough game. Charlie Samios looking to find a treble, just keep the pressure going, only finding 41 here. So tough stuff there from Charlie. Scott Moran just looking to keep on drilling these 19s. 8 goes very high on that third dart. Released a little too early, but he is down to an out 140. Charlie looking to try and get to an out himself. Finds a big treble there. Finds the 99, so 140 to a ton. Take your bets, folks. Who do you think is going to find an out? We've yet to see a big ton-plus take. Well, guys, you feel maybe for the confidence, maybe needed at this point. 60 found there from Scott, so we'll see. 100 left here for Charlie. That first dart blows up any hope that he had for taking out the ton here. And just a sloppy visit for Charlie. Very unlucky. Got a feel for the guy. But 80-77, it's still not done and dusted for Scott. Looks like that's in there. So double 20 remaining. Taking a step back. Letting himself refocus on that double. And he pulls it high. Double 20's not been very friendly for Scott today, which is a little unlucky. He's normally so good on his doubles. 26 remaining now after that trip 17 for Charlie. This would be a statement double if he can find it. Needs to pull it inside, and he does! So 77 take there from Charlie. Kind of a weird way to go on 77, but he does find that trip 17. Great work to get it done. You take it any way that you can get it, ladies and gentlemen, especially in these live games here. Scott Moran again leading off, not really bothered by Charlie taking that leg. Both guys holding throw very well. Looks like that second dart might be in there, might be above. Third dart going wide, so 45 found, unfortunately. Giving a little bit of space here for Scott to just start blowing up these 19s. Are we going to see it? No! So close. Just wide on that third dart. Unlucky. 1, 2, 3. But he would have loved the 171. And Charlie, here he comes. Wants to find some more stuff there. 99's not that bad. Wants the full bed, though. Scott Moran, 295. In a good position here if he can just keep on scoring as well as he has been. Can't find the triple there. So unlucky. Charlie Samios needs to find that level. He took a half step the previous leg, finding that awkward double 13, but he needs to keep on finding these consistent scores. Scott Moran is no slouch. He's going to keep on pushing the ball forward, and Charlie needs, well, to keep level. Can't be relying on the mistakes of Scott, and that's another solid visit there from Scott Moran. 1, 2, 3, following that up with a 1, 3, 3 to leave himself 117. Great, great darts overall from Scott. Looking to hold his throw in some spectacular style, that's for sure. So now, pressure on Scott. Would love to get this wrapped up in 3. Can't do it, so another visit required. Not able to find the 20 going downstairs. 29 found, so a sloppy visit. Still a tricky 88 remaining. Charlie Samios, fortunately, just trying to bring his score down. Does very well to find that third dart. 83. Bring it down to 114. But Scott, 88, very manageable for him, you feel. But now it's just starting to get a little tricky. 87. So 10 scored. 78 remaining. And a little bit of life now for Charlie Samios. 114. Took out 77 in the previous leg. Are we going to see him get it done? First dart's found, 14. Double 20 needed. A monster take here for Charlie. Taking a breath. This would be huge. Oh, and he goes high on that third dart. Scott Moran looking to the sky, not wanting to take a peek if that went in. Finds the single 20. Double 20 remaining now. Just looking to hold his throw. Goes high, third dart. Looks like again, not able to find that double 20. And just a quick heads up for everybody. It's not our board shaking. It's just the camera. Samios low. Finds the double 10, so a critical break of throw. And Samios finding himself in the same position that he had in the opening set, where he was leading the set 2 legs to 1. But he failed to get the job done. Samios has to find the killer instinct within himself and squash the head of Scott Moran if he wants to level up this game at 1 set apiece. Can't afford to let this man have any territory on the board, and it looks like he's taking a lot of it. 1-3-3 fired in there from Scott Moran. Excellent opening visit, putting the hurt on Charlie. Needs to drop that dart a little lower. And another 22 found. We've seen that a couple times from Samios today, where after a monster visit from Scott, maybe a little rattled. Third dart dropped again there from Scott. We've seen that from him as well, where that third dart just not in the same form mechanically as the first 2 darts. And Samios looking to try and find a 140. Looks like only able to find an 81 on the other side of the wire. My goodness. So Scott might be a blocker, might choose to stay. He just loves those 19s. That is such an awkward angle, but it looks like he actually does drill it through. 95 pound there from Scott Moran. Again, persistent, consistent, and really just kind of stubborn on those 19s. He loves them, doesn't want to move from them. And Samios able to find the ton to put a little semblance of pressure on Scott. But you really have to feel that this is going to be Scott's leg to lose if he keeps this scoring up, not able to find a triple. 57 fired in, leaving his score at 137. And Samios, 238 remaining. Needs to find a triple to even put any pressure. He does very well to find that triple 20. 137 to 138, neck and neck, ladies and gentlemen. Place your bets. 80 remaining now for Scott Moran after finding that beautiful first dart. Wanted to go double-double, but not able to get it done. Will leave himself 40. So great setup visit. Charlie Samios, all the pressure in the world. If he wants to avoid, well, not able to get it done here. 80 scored, 58 remaining, I believe. He finds double 18. It's a risky run when you don't line up that arm. So an awkward 22 remaining for Charlie. 40 remaining for Scott Moran, looking to stay alive in this set. Again, double 20 has been his bane so far, not able to drop those darts in. And now double 11 remains for Charlie, needs to bring it inside. 2 darts outside, and he brings it in way too far. So a lifeline given to Scott Moran, who is just looking to hold on and tie this setup at 2 legs apiece. Double 10 by a millimeter outside. Brings it inside, so Scott Moran now is playing for the game. This leg will decide it all, but Charlie is the one to lead off here. Oh, excuse me. Scott is the one to lead off here. So Scott in the position that he wanted to be in. Potential 2 sets to nothing lead if Charlie has nothing to say about it. But he's still got 501 points between himself and potential elimination. And another one of those darts would be quite nice. 85 found there from Charlie, so a great way to lead off in this set-deciding leg. Scott Moran going back home to those 19s. Just loves those 19s. Middle bed, but went way too high. Not happy with the grouping there. Opportunity now for Charlie to really put some distance between himself and Scott. Needs it. Needs a break. Second dart in the bed. And the ton will do. You really have to feel that the ton will do again. Scott smells the blood in the water, though. These guys are sharks. He knows that the game can be closed out. He can shut the door. Not only trip up Charlie, but slam the door in his face. If he can just keep level and get himself down to an out. But Charlie able to find that big triple 20 on that second dart. So starting to rocket ahead here. He's starting to motor. Needed a little bit of high-quality gasoline to put into the tank, but Charlie is starting to motor. Scott able to find 63, but a little bit of space now developing. The gap is starting to widen if Charlie can keep finding those trebles. Something that we haven't seen in a while is darts going low on that 20 segment for Charlie. First part of the game, they were going a little high, so maybe a mechanical recalibration from Charlie, but Scott consistent as ever on these 19s. The 133, firing that in, delivering when he needed it most, down to an out, 157. Charlie marooned on 199. And here we go again. We've seen this. Charlie getting rattled by those big visits from Scott, not able to deliver the goods, 41 found. And Scott with an opportunity, 157, to win the game. Won't go here, but looking to just line it up. Eyeball it, set himself up. Charlie Samios for a game-saving, potentially 158. Won't find it. Finds a triple, so 80 scored. Finds the big ton, wanted the 140. Almost got the 140, my goodness. But in a great spot here to clean this up. Scott Moran looking for a 2-0 victory. Finds 21. 95 remaining, wants the trip to 19, double 19 for the game. Can he get it done? No, he's so low. And an opportunity now for Charlie Samios to come back, tie the game, and force a game-deciding set. 58 remains. Praying to the darting gods. Praying to the breathing gods. 18 needed. 14 needed now. Oh! Trip 14. 46 scored. 46 scored. What does that leave him? 12. Not able to find it. A little bit of caster math there. Wasn't expecting that. And now Scott Moran, another look at 38. Double 19. Low. Well low. Whoa. Just right there. Not able to find it. He pulls it up. Oh, my goodness. The drama. And now Charlie Samios. Another opportunity at double 6. Double 3. The basement. Oh, he's just right there. Oh, no, he's not able to get it done. Oh, my goodness. How close can you get? Both guys scrapping away, trying to find it. 3 found. Double 8 needed for Scott Moran to take this 2-0. Well, why the nerves are real, ladies and gentlemen. Double 8 needed. And he gets it done. Game shot. Scott Moran finds it in a close, nail-biting game against Charlie Samios, who at the very end of all of these legs was able to put some serious pressure on. If we go to the wide shot here, we can see everybody high-fiving, clapping hands and whatnot. Scott Moran, congratulations for moving on. If we look at the finalized bracket, he will be facing off against Fred Kreuger after we see Steve Krikorian and Chris Bavota play. But that will be coming up very shortly. Don't go anywhere. Couple-minute break. We'll be right back. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Worcester Premier League Season 4 playing event. See you guys in just a few. ladies and gentlemen, we are back from break. And if you are just now tuning in as we go to our bracket here, you missed a 2-0 victory. Scott Moran over Charlie Samios. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, we are currently live at Tee Up Tap Room. If I go to the wide shot here, board view, our next match is going to be Stephen Krikorian versus Chris Bavota. And we are actually in a little bit of a shared space here with our movable, studio that we have going on. So if you hear a band in the background, it's not us. It's the space that's next to us. They're having an absolutely awesome jam band session. If I can actually, I've actually been able to hear some of it. They sound great over there. So whoever that is, if you guys can find out, they need to go on tour. They're playing some great stuff. So as we get warmed up here again, Stephen Krikorian, the Season 1 champion, is returning for another run here at the Worcester Premier League, looking for a spot back in the league after a 2-season absence. He'll be facing off against Chris Bavota, the man from up north. Competes a lot locally up in New Hampshire, Maine. Comes down to Massachusetts quite regularly. Great shot, great player, survived the group stage. He's looking to prove what he can do and what he's capable of. Again, if we go back to the bracket, Steve Krikorian, Chris Bavota, very bottom of the bracket there. Whoever wins this game will move on to face off against Mike Parissi, finish the top of his group. So quite the tall task for both guys. Mike playing some phenomenal stuff, but both of these guys, when they're on, ladies and gentlemen, they're on. And they are quite good. But I have a feeling for this game, it's really going to come down to doubling. Not so much scoring, just taking those, high outshot, under a ton, around a ton shots. First time around, Steve Krikorian is quite lethal on those doubles. I've given the go-ahead here from both guys, so they'll be throwing their final darts, getting warmed up. And then we will do the bull to see who will start the game. This is PDC Bull. And again, quick shout out to Tee Up Tap Room. Guys, if you are in the area, the Worcester area, please consider coming on down, seeing the action live. We're going to have 2 more matches ahead of this one. And those matches will be to see who actually qualifies for the league. So please consider it, guys. Support the companies that support the Worcester Premier League. Tee Up has been a fantastic host for this event, fantastic partner for last season and this upcoming season. So again, stop on by, guys. There's plenty more action to come. But thank you very much for tuning in, for being here. We appreciate you guys. We love the support. We love our fans. And we're just trying to bring you the action as best we can. Chris Bavota, Steve Krikorian having a little bit of a laugh before we get things going here. Both guys, fantastic human beings, fantastic dart players. And so I believe this will be the final visit from Steve here before we see the bull. So for everyone interested, the upcoming 4th season will start on March 9th. That'll run all the way through to the end of April. So much support, support from the local business community has come out in support of what we're trying to do. So a thank you to everybody who's come on for this coming season. We actually have U.S. Sports and Apparel and Balboni Darts down at Tee Up. So if you're looking for dart supplies or for a good quality beer, come on down, guys. Bavota well wide on that bull, leaving the door open for Steve Krikorian here. Goes high and wide actually. Little high there, so not able to find it, but this is PDC Bull, so somebody has to hit it. We want to get things going here. One more shot here for Steve. Wide again, not happy with that attempt at all. Big opportunity here for Bavota to lock in a serious advantage, and well low. Both guys, again, the nerves are real when you're playing in person with a little bit of a crowd developing behind you, cheering you on. Sometimes the dynamic certainly changes from just playing at home. Start the layup line, says Jaywa. Good to see you here, man. Hope you're doing well. And both guys not wanting to get in. One more time here for Steve Krikorian. One more time, Fantastic Daft Punk song. One of these guys will get in there eventually. Finds the single bull. So here we are. Bavota now has to find at least one. Not able to get it done. So the game will finally start. Nick the sure shot. Soldo on the live comms there. The other side in the main hall area. And Steve Krikorian will be leading off here. Fantastic dart player. shooting well into the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Depends on how warmed up he is, but a lethal player. Chris Bavota has the game within him, but needs to put the pressure on early, and unfortunately the 22, not a great way to start the game, but still a long way to go. Looking for a better second visit here. Krikorian might be awkward. His darts land just a little flat, so trying to get around that second dart, force its way through, might be a tough ask. And Bavota spraying and praying, unfortunately. So close on finding that trip 19, but not a great visit. 21 found. Needs to settle himself if he wants to really have a chance here of putting pressure on Krikorian, who's just wiring these trebles. Not able to find anything. So again, what we've seen in the round robin, these guys were lights out. But when you put the pressure on of the cameras, the live commentary, the crowd, the dynamic changes immensely. And the pressure becomes real, ladies and gentlemen. It is no joke. Krikorian looking to find his way into the triple segment for the first time this game. Needs to drill that red bit. Finds it. Here we go. Finding the big ton. Bavota needs to follow if he wants to keep any semblance of pressure on. Not able to find that switch downstairs. So unlucky, so a big lead developing for Steve. Might be an awkward first start. If he chooses to stay there, I'm actually kind of surprised with that decision, and can't find the switch over to the 18s either. So messy stuff. Not the best stuff from both gentlemen. Getting off the line here for our second game of the day. And a very, very poor average here for Chris Bavota, not putting up his best stuff. Even with all the big misses, Steve still putting up a 62.8 so far. And that's a wide dart. Only able to find 81. So putting the pressure on, not really doing much of stunning the crowd here, but it's enough, and sometimes, well, that's enough. 106 needed here for Steve. Krikorian will choose to go up at those 20s, and he just goes wide. So 3 found, 103 remaining. 84 remaining. Caster math. Had that happen plenty of times. Happens all the time. Leaving himself 64. Bavota might find the 180 here, and he goes low. We've yet to see the 180. We have signs ready to go when someone hits one. Not able to find it there. Krikorian, 64 left. 56 now. Thinking about which way he wants to go. Finds the big 16 for double 20. And he finds it again. Like I said at the beginning of this game, the doubles are going to be so critical. Mid-range takes going to decide the winner of this game, in my opinion. And Steve delivering the goods after a little bit of a slow start. Bavota finally finding 3 straight darts, punching in that 60. Krikorian looking to respond if he can. The big visit. Second dart just high. Third dart not following the orders that were given to him. Bavota, a little bit of an opportunity here to punch his way ahead. Again, that switch down to the 19s has been so close. So close. Chris has a little bit of a wide swing. Steve a little bit more mechanical with his throws, so switching may be difficult, but the grouping just not there, unfortunately, for both gentlemen. 44 punched in for Krikorian. Bavota going down. Finds the double 19, oddly. And he finds the triple. So can't get it done on the 20s. Finds the triple-double on that 19 segment, pushing his score all the way down to 301. Sometimes it's not about wanting to get it done a certain way. It's just any way you can take it. A little bit of a score correction there, 282 for Bavota. And Steve looking to fill up the bet after a beautiful first start. 140 at the very least won it and pushes it well wide, 81. Steve hovering around 61 average. Chris finally finding his scoring power. Finding 85, dropping his score down. Just under 200, 331 remaining for Steve. Finds the first start right in the corner of that one segment. All over that trip 20 segment. And again, we apologize for the shaky board. It's not us. It's actually the HVAC system here at Tee-Up Taproom rattling that camera around. So that'd be rather cruel, the Worcester Premier League, if we had a moving board these guys had to hit. That would suck. That would be terrible. We're not that cruel and mean here, the WPL. Steve Krikorian, 296 remaining now. Not able to get it done with that first start, so a little bit of a panic might be coming into the mind here of Steve as he's just not wiring these treble segments. Wrong side, and 156 remaining for Bavota. Blocks the segment with that first start. Elects to keep those darts straight, but maybe not the best decision considering the way that those darts landed. Leaving himself 115. This is an opportunity now for Steve. If he can find a big visit, put some pressure on, even 2 trebles will be enough here. At least tap Chris on the shoulder, but nothing coming easy for Steve. And Chris, again, needs to take advantage. Can't let Steve crawl his way back into this game. Going back upstairs to the 20 segment. And that loose third dart has plagued so many players all day. Comes down to just keeping yourself steady mentally. Big treble found there. 80 scored, second dart just high, and he finds the big third dart. 134 found, so there's the pressure. This 75 needs to go 72 now. Trip 12, potentially. Way to go. 60 remaining, tried to go for it, and the third dart well high, and that's a wasted burn dart. A bad dart. 84 is a serious threat here. Steve has taken these out time and time again. He needs to keep calm. 14, or will he stay? Respects it, so trip 14 found for Steve Krikorian. Eyeing up. Double. Oh, 11, not able to get it done. So, Chris Bavota, big opportunity, 60 remaining. And that is a terrible, terrible second dart. Again, the quick throw, wide arc makes it so difficult to follow. Krikorian now on double 11. A little awkward double, but comes to a point where no doubles are awkward if you reach a certain point down the 3 segment. For double 4, this would be a statement double. Needs to find it for his own self-confidence. Can't do it. Did not want to give Bavota that opportunity, that look. And if you feel that, ooh, double 9 now for Bavota on that double 7 finds, a little awkward there. And he gets it done with the second dart. So I would say opportunities given away there from Steve Krikorian, allowing Bavota to find his way into that leg. We have a tied game, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this set is first to 3 legs. Winner needs 2 sets to move on to the semifinal game. 57 found there from Steve Krikorian. Bavota needing to just keep his darts straight in a line if he can. 41 fired in. So Steve, again, not playing to his potential, you have to feel. He's a fantastic player. This is the Season 1 champion, ladies and gentlemen. No slouch. Competes in tournaments all over New England, all over the United States, and even competes internationally. So he's used to high-pressure games, high-pressure situations, but sometimes you just have an off day, and it's unfortunate, but still a long way to go here. And Chris Bavota not putting too much pressure on. 45 found. Krikorian looking to just find those trebles. Finds it with that second dart and not able to keep the dart elevated. So a ton found, but the way that third dart dropped, won't be happy with it. And again, Bavota not able to keep his darts in a line. 26 found, spray and pray. Needs to find the correction sometime soon if he wants to keep the pressure on. Did very well to take advantage of the opportunity in the previous leg, but as this game moves on and Steve starts to get his arm warmed up, you feel that this is going to be a harder and harder game for Bavota to fight his way back into if he keeps letting these poor scores plague his legs. Smart move to go down there the way that second dart landed. 83 found, dropping his score down to 306. Krikorian 229. Looking to get within range here. That's a beautiful first dart. Second dart might be in there as well. Going downstairs, 139 found, so a huge visit there from Krikorian to drop his score down to 90. Bavota needs to fill this up. 140 minimum for some pressure. And even then, the ton is not enough. 90 remaining now for Krikorian. Trip 18 or, yeah, elected to go for trip 18. Cross to double. Oh, triple 16. Wanted that so bad. Will stay there. Leave himself handy. 50 scored. Leave himself 40. So close on that triple, my goodness. Now Bavota just trying to get down, not able to find much of anything helpful there. So Krikorian, big opportunity now, double 20 for a 2 legs to 1 advantage here, going downstairs to double 10. Not able to get it done with that second dart, pulling it inside, and he pulls it well outside, actually. So a little bit of an errant dart, misbehaving dart. Give that dart a spank on the bottom and a good talking to, because that did not listen at all. Krikorian, double 10 needed now, wants another shot at this and wants it to go first dart, and he does find it first dart, so a little bit of trouble finding that double. One might even say double trouble, but we have a 2 legs to 1 advantage here for Steve. Chris not wanting to go down one set so quickly. Will be fighting, trying to keep his grouping steady. 66 punched in. Steve just looking to do more of the same, really. Again, if you were just tuning in, the board is not shaking for the players. It's unfortunately the camera that we have pointing at the board. That is a rather poor start there from Steve Krikorian. Not his best work. Bavota an opportunity here to keep on drilling some numbers. Not able to deliver the goods, only finding 30. So both guys in a little bit of an awkward phase in this game where we've seen some good doubling, we've seen some good scoring. Both guys are capable of it, but it comes down to the consistency, and that is so hard to do when the environment that you're used to playing in changes. These guys are so used to playing here at Tee Up Tap Room, playing locally, but the scenario, the situation in which they're playing and what they're playing for, a spot in Season 4, makes it so difficult to really focus up and keep that arm in line. Steve Krikorian, 369 remaining after 2 visits, wants to keep his dart steady. Going downstairs and not able to find the switch. That's a poor third dart. Gives an opportunity here for Bavota. If he can find a triple or two, really ask some questions of Steve. And again, that third dart just raising its way out of the segment that he was looking at. So an even game, not the best of games, and still a way to go here. 40 found for Krikorian, wants to drop it down, but he pushes it wide again, and that's a threat. I don't like that third dart from Steve. 2 darts in there, blocking the bed, just move. So much more real estate, just like Bavota has been hunting for this entire time, finding that 78. Don't try and force the dart if it refuses to go. Krikorian looking to put some hurt right back on that 78 from Bavota. And those errant darts, just persistent, just pesky. Pesky pests here at Tee Up Tap Room. Try saying that 5 times fast. I can't. Unfortunately, Bavota only finding 24, which really opens the door here for Krikorian to take a massive lead in front. If he can find even a single treble, he's hunting for it. Split the middle, Steve. Looks like he just goes high on that third dart. So 140 to 217. Not all done and dusted for Bavota, but he needs a treble. Should go downstairs. That is not a good line, and he can't find the 17. Hoping to leave himself 160. Krikorian just low on that first dart, not in there. So 120 remaining now, just looking to set himself up, wants the ton. And again, 60 found, so scoring just difficult for people right now. Not able to really have any help from the scoring portion of the game. Both players. Steve requiring 80. Might go double-double, might go triple here. We'll see. And that is probably the worst start that you can throw, ladies and gentlemen. 79 remaining now for Steve, who finds 7, so just struggling to get it done. 72 now. Finds 24 on that third dart, leaving himself 48. 128 now for Chris. First dart's going to kill the chance of the bid. And just unlucky. Very, very poor grouping there for Chris Bavota. You can tell that he's not satisfied with the way that he's been throwing. Double 16 now for Steve Krikorian, and he gets it done. 3 legs to 1 here in the opening set. So Chris, again, from the onset, knew that the doubles were going to be the opportunity to try and rattle the cage of Steve Krikorian. Not able to get it done. Grouping just not there. But still another set. More opportunities now for Bavota. Needs to focus up, get his arm in line. if he wants to keep his hopes of qualifying for Season 4 alive. Krikorian with another errant dart, finding 41. So unlucky. And Bavota able to find the big ton. Great darts there. Puts the pressure on Steve to answer with something big of his own. Again, Steve has a very flat-lying dart that's in there. Wants to try and have a friend join the party. Can only find the ton and answer. But when your darts land so flat, it can be sometimes so difficult to get around them. And not able to find, well, much of anything there in that visit. Chris Bavota struggling here. Krikorian just doing enough to get by. And just keep this march towards the end of the leg here. Moving steadily at a decent pace. 317 now for Bavota. Needs a treble if he wants to try and keep this level. 60 will do, but a gap is widening now for Steve, who just wants to keep this marching along. Doesn't want to give Bavota any more loose chances like he did in the first set. Let him steal a leg off of him. I'm not really so convinced so far from both of these guys. Again, I've seen them play at a much higher standard. It might just be the situation. It might be the pressure. It might just be an awkward game. When you have these types of games where nothing seems to be going easy, it's tough. Tough to dig yourself out of that trough that you find yourself in, but Steve looking to drop the dart in. Pulls it wide again, 45, just brutal. And on a bogey number, 165, Bavota, big opportunity to get down to an out first. 59 found there from Chris Bavota, leaving himself 157, leaving himself a chance. But if Steve can hit a nice ton plus here to set himself up beautifully, puts the entire world of pressure on Chris. Only able to find 160, so not an easy ask from Steve Krikorian. 105, 157. This is incredibly difficult, and Bavota is not going to be able to find it. Only able to find 47. 105 now for Steve Krikorian coming up. Which way is he going to go? Well, there's the 5 taken care of. And 99 remaining now, so the darts just not cooperating easily at all. 13 scored. Another look here for Chris Bavota. The errant darts are just killing the chances of both these guys. 5 bounds, so brutal. Messy, 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 messy stuff. Somebody get Mr. Cleanup in this place because this is nasty darts and not in the good way. Steve looking to clean up this mess if he can. Well, he can't get it done now. Just wanting to set it up. 44. We'll leave him 48. Basically saying to Chris Bavota that he can't get it done. And, well, Steve is correct in that assumption, unfortunately, for Chris. And Chris really just struggling here, falling apart. Another poor visit. Leaving Krikorian 48 now. This was a surefire shot last time around. Up to double 20. Down to double 10 now. Wired that double 20, and he gets it done with that third dart. So Steve Krikorian breaking Chris Bavota in the opening leg of this set. Looking for a 2 legs to none advantage. Putting himself in prime position to face off against Mike Parissi. If he can find 2 more legs. And that's a great way to get this leg underway. 121 is perfect. And Chris Bavota looking to try and answer. Needs to find a treble. Finds the wrong treble, unfortunately. Only finding 40. So massive opportunity for Krikorian if he can just keep this going straight and steady. And we've seen that multiple times where the first dart just on the wrong side of the wire. Looking for that 19. Pulls it well wide. Bavota, 2 in there. Not able to find the 180. We have yet to see a 180 so far today. Massive opportunity for the signs to be broken out. Steve Krikorian looking for his own ton 80. 2 in there, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and the 140 is found. Nothing else. Tough, tough stuff there. Scoring out of nowhere for both guys. And that's what's been so frustrating with this game is that we know the game is there. We know it's there. But it's just been tough for these guys to bring it out. You have a feeling that in a couple of Next couple of matches here, the scoring is going to go just absolutely ballistic. Steve Krikorian, 117 remaining. Bavota all the way back on 295. Not been the easiest game for Chris, who has been struggling the entire time. Krikorian, 117. Master Chief's number. Finds 51. Leaving himself 66. Ooh, leaving himself 56 now. Just missed that trip 10 to leave himself tops. Great bid there from Steve. Leaves himself very handy with 40 left. Bavota all the way back on 248. Not happy with the way that dart landed at all. And more or less lining Krikorian up for an easy double 20 take. 3 darts in hand. First dart just high. Wants to use that as a guide. Going down to double 10. Doesn't want to mess this up. And not the most awkward thing in the world. I would think it would be more awkward if he hit the single 10. Drop dart there from Bavota. Might be nerves. Taking a breath. Finds 3 in that segment, 57. So he's in range now, but is Steve going to give him the opportunity to have another look? Sources say it's doubtful. Needs to pull it inside with the second dart. And that is game shot there from Steve Krikorian. So here we go here. Chris Bavota, desperation mode needed now. Finds a big, big visit there to lead things off in this third leg. Steve Krikorian needs to answer with a big visit of his own if he wants to have a chance of at least putting the pressure on, keeping Chris honest. It's not even so much about pressure anymore. It's just keeping the gentleman honest. Bavota finding these troubles out of nowhere, it seems. Scoring has been so difficult for him so far this afternoon. It seems to be just now picking up. Krikorian can't afford to let Chris start building some hope, building some faith. It's the hope that kills you, but sometimes it's the hope that also makes the comeback alive. First dart, second dart, just around it. 3 straight darts will do. 402 to 279, Bavota with a big advantage in this leg. Steve Krikorian looking to, well, just keep these darts in line if he can. Finds the big triple 20, so needs another. 81 will be enough to just tap Chris on the shoulder, but can't afford more darts like that. That's 2 darts in that one segment. Third dart barely holding on. Very awkward lie on that third dart. And now Krikorian, 321 remaining. First dart is golden. Second dart going well high. Might have clouded against those flights, and the ton will be quite serviceable. 221 remaining, keeping Chris honest, like we said, who got away on this leg in quite spectacular fashion, but has been struggling to keep the momentum going, which is just so difficult to do. 221 remaining now. Looks like a single one might have been found there. 61 found, I believe. The 121 is going to be excellent there from Steve Krikorian, leaving himself a solid ton. One time you don't want to hit a 180 is when you have it left. And 43, found there from Chris Bavota. In range, but it might be over. If Krikorian can find the triple, double-double will be the way. And it won't go this time, but he will leave himself handy with 40 remaining. 137 to save his skin. Chris Bavota will not get the look at it. And it seems like this will be a frustrating and disappointed 2-0 exit here from Bavota. If Krikorian can find this double 20, needs to bring it a little low. And he finds it, and that's the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris was struggling with his scoring the entire time. Steve, enough to get it done. You feel like there's a lot left in the tank for Steve, and he's going to need it against, well, if we take a look at the bracket over here, he's going to need it against Mike Parissi, who was shooting lights out in the round robin. So our semifinals are set. It's going to be Scott Moran versus Fred Kreuger. And after that game, it's going to be Steve Krikorian, versus Mike Parissi. Guys, we're going to go on a quick break. Don't go anywhere. And we'll see you guys in just a few minutes. Thank you guys for being here. See you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from break, continuing the action here, live from Tee Up Tap Room. And if you are now just tuning in, first of all, where have you been? Come on. We've been streaming for, I want to say, close to an hour and a half here. We've had some pretty interesting matches, but it all comes down to this. After a morning round-robin session that had these guys qualify through, it now comes to Fred Kreuger. Scott Moran, winner of this game, advances and moves on to Season 4 of the Worcester Premier League. They will qualify in, and if we go to the bracket, this is how we ended up here. Scott Moran, Charlie Samios. Charlie put in a serious fight for Scott Moran, but just not able to get it done in the end. Came down to a few missed darts at doubles, some scoring awkwardness there, but really gave this man a run for his money. And so, Fred Kreuger, who came out on top in the round-robin session, the best of everyone, got a bye and now is looking to get the job done and finish off Scott Moran, who competed in Season 1 and looking to, well, join the league for the first time and deny Scott a chance to earn his way back into the league. So, go to the board view here. I will give the signal to the staff that we have up front. If you are in the area, please consider coming on down to Tee Up Tap Room. We are going to be here for a little while. And then we have a look at the draw at 5:30 for everyone that did decide to come out. So, we're going to be here for a couple more hours. One more game after this to determine who qualifies for the upcoming season. But again, Fred Kreuger, he had a monster round-robin session. We don't have a graphic prepared for the results of that round-robin group, but multiple legs were, well high into the 70s, even scratching the low 80s. Fred Kreuger is here to play. He has showed up, practice, well-oiled, and he's a machine. Absolutely fantastic, blowing up the scoreboard. Doesn't want to let this man have any inkling of hope, really, getting his way back into the league. So, going to be an interesting matchup here. I think that Scott Moran, when it comes to his mental preparedness, mental strength, doesn't really get into his own head very often, finding ways to claw his way back into the legs for being down by quite a few points. But this is going to be quite the test here for Scott. Quite the player, very strong player, loves his 19s, but this is going to be a serious test. Scott Moran's going to have to pull out all the stops. So, as we get this PDC Bull underway here, looks like it's outside. Scott Moran not able to find the pool. It's a pool party, got to get in the pool. And Fred Kreuger able to find that single bull. Go to the wide shot here. Everyone's looking like they're starting to filter over to watch these games. These are critical, important games here going on. Fred Kreuger will have the honor of going first, so massive advantage here for Freddie. And this man, well, he knows how to throw darts. That is an understatement if there's ever been one. Already getting things off here with a big ton 40. Immediate pressure for Scott Moran, who loves his 19s. He is a serious 19 shooter. One of the other 19 shooters in the area right behind Freddie right now in the glass is Richie Lucier. Loves his 19s as well. That won't bother Freddie at all. Drills the trip 19 first time of asking and just goes high on that third dart. 91 found. Brilliant average so far. 115 for Fred. Scott really needing to keep pace now. And that errant dart is going to make things quite complicated. A poor visit. Fred, 270 remaining after 2 visits to the board, so fantastic effort so far. Finding that trip 19 again, showing Scott Moran how it's done. My goodness, 2 darts in that trip 19 segment. Massive visit, 119, bringing himself down to an out after 3 visits. This is some frightening stuff, guys. Scott Moran able to find that 95, but the pressure is coming, and it's relentless from Fred. Sitting on 151, finds the first part, trip 17. Not able to find that trip 17, so he will be moving away back up to those 20s. 97 found, 282 for Scott Moran, well behind Fred, already at 54. My goodness. Scott Moran needing that triple, not able to find it, and Freddie pulling out a ton-plus average here. 14 tops you feel is going to be the way. 2 darts at double 20. Having to move down to the double 10. Scott Moran, his eyes are open. The excellence being thrown from Fred's hands all the way back at 225. Again, this man is not used to being this far behind. He is an excellent player. Wants to try and get it done here, but the opening leg looks like it might be done and dusted for Fred. If he can just find this double 5, a little bit of a wind-up there, wants to find it, and he does with the first dart. So a 93 average to open for Fred Kreuger. Scott Moran, not too shabby, 64. Needs to find more triple 19s if he wants to have a hope of keeping this game even. What can Fred do to open up? We have yet to see a 180. We would love to see a 180. The crowd has a bunch of signs they have yet to show. So, well, no one's hit one, which has been rather unfortunate, but it is what it is. Fred only able to find the 59 there. So Scott, a little lucky, able to get away with a little bit of a breather. Break right there. Not able to drill those 19s. Second and third dart going wide. 85 found there for Scott. So 4-4-2 remaining for Fred. Doesn't really have a lot. Well, has a very unique throw with that little wind-up practice throw before he releases the dart. But man, oh man, do those darts find their target. 96 fired in there from Fred. Putting the pressure right back on Scott, who is just a little bit behind. Wants to elevate those darts. They are going a little low, so 57 found. The door's open for Fred Kreuger. Working with 3-4-6 now. And truth be told, I actually don't really get to see much of Freddie's game. I know that he's an excellent shot. Able to find that trip 19. Unbelievable, the consistency, able to pip these trebles off. Scott Moran, no slouch, but I've seen a little bit more of his game than I have Freddie's. Freddie is proving to everyone that he can deliver the goods and then some right now. My goodness. Lining up his shot and going wide, so a little bit of a breather for Scott Moran. If Fred continues to not find a treble, does find that treble with that third dart, 84 found, so he is down to a 170 finish, and this would be insane if he could find it. Scott Moran looking to get down to an out for himself, needs another one. Not able to find it, just the line has been moving all over the place for Scott. Unfortunate. And a 170 bid here for Fred Kreuger. Won't go. Just underneath. Tried to move down to the 19 segment. Looks like he's going to stay on it. Does stay on it, but not able to find the big treble that he was hunting for. Now Scott Moran, a little bit of an opportunity. If he can find at least 2 trebles, puts himself in prime position for pressure. And he does find the 2 treble. Oh, no, he doesn't. Only finding 79. Got a little ahead of myself there, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Freddie was looking for at least a single 18. So moving across to the 20s now. Does very well to find that triple 20. So great visit. 92 punched in. Will leave himself 36. Scott Moran, this is an opportunity. 119 in the wheelhouse. And unfortunately, that first dart kills the bid, but can still try and put some pressure on. Not able to get it done. A really poor visit there from Scott, only finding 15. So Fred looking to go 2 legs up if he can drill this double 18. Having to move across a double 9 now. Needs to bring it down, just not elevating enough. And it looks like he does drill it. Double 9 found, little correction needed, and Fred Kreuger off like a rocket. 2 legs up on Scott Moran, 83.5 average. Very rarely in Season 4 did we see this level of consistency. It only came from one man. Tom Curtin was able to deliver on such a consistent standard. And Fred proving that he can keep and will play at that level consistently. Scott Moran under a lot of pressure here. Not done and dusted, but we've seen that time and time again this afternoon. Those darts elevating their way into that 7 segment. Firm Donkey in the chat says, let's go, Scott. How can you not root for that man? I mean, he is an excellent human being. Wonderfully nice gentleman. Very good at this game. Just not able to find the standard he has been hoping for. Hoping for a triple here. Can't quite bring it up. Looks like there's a little bit of a crowd developing behind there, so we love to see the support for both of these guys. Freddie looking to drop that dart down. He does. Looks like he doesn't like the way that that dart landed, so moving down, it's a rather smart dart. That's a very smart move. Flight was blocking the bed, so he did not want to stay there. Scott Moran still hunting for those big trebles, and we've seen it again, just moving into the sevens. It's got to be so frustrating. Scott doing very well to not display his anger, not show Freddie that he's frustrated, rather unbothered. Fred's just kind of content with letting the darts do the talking. 85 punched in, bringing his score underneath 200. Not within range just yet, but quite a wide margin developing between these two guys already. 3-5-2 for Scott, no troubles found. It's a long day of darts for both of these gentlemen, but this is only, well, this is the last match that these guys have to play. Looks like trip 3 found there for Fred, and finds the big trip 19. Does very well to find that 123 with that small minor correction. 50 left for Fred. Scott Moran in desperation needs to find something. The dart's just not seeming to listen to what his arm is trying to communicate to him. 18 or 10. Double 20 now for Fred for a opening set here. Holding his set. Not able to find the double 20. So 10 found. Scott Moran, 262. No pressure on Fred. Just looking to keep on hunting and bringing this score down. And unfortunately, the score will stay up. So Fred Kreuger, double 20 needed to take the opening set, and he finds it. Unbelievable standard of play here from Fred Kreuger. 81.98 average versus the 55.56. Ladies and gentlemen, I say this with the utmost sincerity. Scott Moran is no slouch. But Fred Kreuger is making his effort look pedestrian right now, and that is a frightening statement for sure. Fred Kreuger has just not been missing. Are we going to see the 180 that we have been praying for? No, we are not. Oh my goodness, how awkward would this be that we got these signs made for no one to hit the maximum that we want so desperately badly? Brendan Ragno in the chat says Scott is no slouch. Buddy, I agree. Scott Moran is a fantastic human, a fantastic darts player, but what can you do against Freddie, who's just playing on a, well, couple levels higher in terms of the scoring department, in terms of finishing? Scott Moran up against it right now, hunting for those trip 19s, but his darts have been going left and right, wide, and that is such a hard thing to correct in the moment when you're in the middle of a match. Fred Kreuger, first dart going wide. Second dart finding its home at triple 19. The switching has been excellent. 2 darts in there. Monster scoring continues for Fred Kreuger. Scott Moran again wide into that 7 segment. Finds the trip 19. Can't put a second dart in there, so doing well to keep pace in this leg. But, again, needs to keep pace. Needs to just keep level. Can't let this man get too far in front. Freddie looking for a big 140, only able to find the ton. And now Scott Moran, 203. Brandon Rango says he loves the trip 19s. I know he's one of the scariest trip 19 shooters I've ever seen. Continuously drills them, and he's put himself in a good position. 108 remaining. The 156 will not go for Fred Kreuger, who was just looking to set it up. Freddie not able to find a big visit here. Looks like the crowd's starting to fill in here at Tee Up Tap Room. Thank you, everybody, for coming down for the support. Scott Moran, 108. Needs to find the triple. Can only find 38, so 70 remaining now for Scott. Does very well to hit that 18 segment. 56 scored, but critically, Fred Kreuger on a 112 that seems very gettable right now. If he can just drop that second dart low, and it looks like it's just slightly high, so 40 scored. Won't go this time. Moves over to the 12 segment to leave himself 60. 52 versus 60. Scott Moran needs this. This is a must-take here for Scott Moran. Double 16. There has never been a time where he needs this more. Needs to elevate the dart. And he pulls it inside, so an unlucky attempt there from Scott Moran, frustrated. How many darts is Fred going to need to take out this 60? First dart's money. Will he cash in on the third dart? And he doesn't. He drops it low, so A very rare error here from Fred Kreuger. Double 8 needed now for Scott Moran. Needs it. Desperation darts. Very wide. He misses the board. Pulls it inside. Double 4. And it's low, so the double's just not cooperating for Scott. Fred, I have a feeling he's not going to miss this. Double 10. And there it is. Fred Kreuger, enough faffing about. He wants that leg done and dusted, taking the break on Scott's hold of throw. So Fred now, massive opportunity to go 2 legs up and put Scott Moran in a very precarious position. And it looks like Fred is just going to keep on drilling with another solid and steady ton to get things underway in this second leg. We're just tuning in. Scott Moran struggling to find his scoring power on these trip 19s. He loves 19s, but just not able to find the consistent trebles. Fred Kreuger has more or less been cruising at an excellent standard, trying to punch his ticket into Season 4. Does very well to find that treble. 96 pound from Fred Kreuger. Scott Moran just looking, just hunting, just searching. Needs another one. Able to find the big 1-3-3. We saw that in his game previous, where if he was able to find those 1-3-3s, he rattled the cage of his opponent. Fred Kreuger looking for the 180. Only able to find the 140, so not able to fill it out. Tough for everyone here who has 180. Everyone here has 180 signs ready to go, and we just haven't seen one yet. Come on, guys. We just want one. My goodness. Fred Kreuger just looking to just keep this going. 165 stuck on a bogey. Bowler 15. Not able to find the single bull there, but 94, excuse me, still a great way to keep things moving down. Scott Moran not out of it, but he needs a treble at the very least. Not able to find it. 71 now for Fred. Which way is he going to go? Well, 69 remaining, funny number. And now for the bullseye for a showstopper take. And very smartly, under no pressure, decided to not go for it, but he did miss that third dart. So an error, but there's no pressure coming from Scott, who's just looking to get himself within range currently. He's able to drop his score down in range, but 44 remaining for Fred Kreuger. 12 or 4. Which ways does he like? He wants double 20. He's going to look to get it with this third dart, hopefully. And he finds it, so Fred Kreuger up 2 legs to none on Scott Moran, hovering just under an 80 average. And desperation continues here for Scott Moran, who needs to clean up this scoring. If he wants to try and run it all the way back, it would be a miraculous comeback for sure. But Freddie is making it extremely tough. The way he has been playing and the standard he has been playing, you have a feeling that it's looking pretty grim here for Scott. But we persist, we continue. Fred opens up with a 43, so a massive opportunity for Scott Moran. Looking to just try and find these trebles, keep this going. Finds the 95, so pressure now on Fred to try and keep this up. He's been so good in the first half of this game. Scott Moran may be coming alive right at the end. And Freddie able to deliver the ton, so solid visit there from Fred. 358 to 349. Scott Moran with a slight advantage. That might be a tough block to get around. Not able to drill the treble segment. 57. Dropping his score down to 292. Fred Kreuger just hovering above it. It's a great guide, though. This should be excellent to use as a ramp to put 2 in there, but it elects to go to the side. Wow, 134. Excellent switch there from Fred Kreuger. 224 remaining. The pressure back on Scott, who's just been all over this treble segment, and that's a critical miss. That 41 just might be the end of it if Fred hits over a ton here. And it's looking like that is going to be punished. Freddie finding his way into the 1 segment, doesn't like that dart. Able to punch in 80, so still a ton of pressure. He's in range now. It's a high ton 44, but Scott has to put the pressure back on. Not able to find the treble, and ladies and gentlemen, 6 darts at the very least for Fred Kreuger, who's looking to try and wrap this up. Won't go here, but he has the luxury of not really needing to have it go here. 64 remaining. Brings that over, not able to find the 888 or 16 that he was looking to have. 56 remaining to Scott's 204. Scott really needs just one treble to put some semblance of pressure. Not able to get it done. Might be a resigned look here from Scott Moran as Fred Kreuger, 56, 2 darts at double 20. Wants to drop it a little lower. And he's not able to get the job done. He's so close. So Scott Moran, 163 at a bogey. Just looking to put some more pressure on there. Just hoping to extend his stay the WPL Season 4 play-in. But Fred Kreuger, 3 darts in hand. You have a feeling it's not going to miss. Down to double 10. Well wide on that second dart. Might be nerves. And that's the game. Fred Kreuger taking it 2-0 in an excellent game against Scott Moran. 78.42 average. Congratulations, Fred Kreuger. You're qualified for Season 4, man. Awesome stuff, awesome standard. And what a performance by Fred to prove that he is worthy of competing in our upcoming WPL season. So, as we go to the bracket, we just saw a 2-0 victory. Fred Kreuger over Scott Moran. And our next game will be Steve Krikorian, who took out Chris Bavota 2-0 against Mike Parissi. Guys, this is going to be a close battle. Both of these guys are hungrier than ever to have a spot in the league. And my goodness, their averages are pretty equal as well. We are going to take a break for a few minutes, but we will see you guys, well, after the break. Don't go anywhere. See you then. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Worcester Premier League Season 4 play-in. As you can see, I've got the wide shot here. A little bit of a crowd is developing. We have some people watching, and we see, well, there he is, Mike Parissi warming up here. The center of the frame. There's Steve Krikorian, his opponent, the Season 1 champion. He's finding his way, or at least trying to earn his way back into the Worcester Premier League after 2-season absence. So if we go back to the final bracket, well, oh well, how did we end up here? And it's been quite a night of darting action, quite a day of darting action, actually. All of these guys got here around 10 in the morning, warmed up for about 45 minutes. Then we got the round robin underway, and unfortunately we did not have a graphic prepared for the results of the round robin, but top six players who did qualify. Over here in the bracket, Scott Moran, Charlie Samios. Scott Moran took out Charlie Samios 2-0, then lost 2-0 to Fred Kreuger with an excellent 78 average. Unbelievable standard there from Fred. Steve Krikorian took out Chris Bavota 2-0 and is now looking to take on Mike Parissi. Whoever wins this match will be qualified for Season 4. So there's a lot on the line here for both of these guys. These guys will be getting their final warm-ups underway here. I think the call has been made by our MC, Nick Soldo, who has been wooing the crowd with his soothing and sultry voice all afternoon. Unbelievable job that he's done. There's that beautiful man there with that WPL hat. Talking to Steve Krikorian, Joe Ricard. He has done a fantastic job with the tech setup, getting everything, well, just working perfectly here at Tee Up Tap Room. A lot of thanks. And again, if you guys are in the area, we are live here. Again, Tee Up Tap Room. Right now, we're here. So if you guys have the opportunity, come on down, say hi. This will be the last match, but we are hosting a luck of the draw. Sorry for that little balloon notification. We're communicating back and forth that we are ready for the game to begin. But we will be hosting Luck of the Draw around 5:30 tonight. It's a way to say thank you and just provide some extra fun for everybody who's currently in attendance. And so, final warm-ups given. Mike Parissi playing a lot out of Route 9 Sports Bar over there in Framingham. He actually is a MMDL, Minuteman Dart League champion with Balboni Darts. Balboni Darts has done a great job supporting the Worcester Premier League these past couple of seasons. Single bull found there from Mike. Steve Krikorian looking to either follow or find the red bit. And so we will go again. Steve Krikorian finding that single bull. We are determining who goes first. PDC rules determine who goes first here, the WPL. Steve lining up his shot. Finding that single bull again. And Mike Parissi looking to get the job done here. At least keep it going. Double bull needed outside, so Steve Krikorian will have the advantage going into this game. And this is big for Steve. This is our Season 1 champion who voluntarily left, was absent for 2 seasons, looking to come back and join us. We miss him dearly. He is a hell of a shot, and we are certainly more than aware of what he is capable of producing. Struggled a little bit in the scoring department in his earlier match against Chris Bavota. Mike Parissi, a little bit of an unknown to the WPL. Certainly know he's a great player. Not sure how many times these guys have faced off, though. Great 85 to open up for Mike, to follow the ton from Steve. And one of the things that we did see earlier on, Steve versus Chris Bavota, is that there's just some wayward darts left and right here and there. Not able to really keep every single dart in line. And Mike did win his group, so came out of the gate with a statement performance, topping his group. Steve Krikorian came second only to Fred Kreuger, who is now qualified for Season 4. So both of these guys prepared to play at a high standard. And prepared to fight, scrap, kick, even bite each other if they need to for an open spot in the league. Mike Parissi, what a steady throw. I love the way that this guy throws. Brings it back to the same point. Punches that dart in with a full follow-through. And that's a solid ton there from Mike as Steve Krikorian just a little behind here. Needs to find some trebles if he wants to try and keep this steady. Might be an awkward block there. Looks like he's going downstairs. Not able to find the switch that he was looking for. Mike Parissi, 275. Such a beautiful throw. I love the way he punches those things into the board. So good. And not able to keep those darts in line. 41 found. Opportunity. The door is opened here for Steve Krikorian, who's looking to try and leapfrog over Mike. And there's one trip 20. Are we going to see the 180? No, we are not. Come on, someone please deliver the 180. We have been hoping and praying for a 180 all day, and unfortunately the players have not been able to deliver. Mike Parissi, beautiful first start. So much more space in there. Pulls it wide on that second attempt. An unfortunate block there with that third dart. 85 found, leaving himself 149. Steve stuck. 172. Beautiful first start. Wants to stay there for right now. And that is a killer of a second dart. Not too much pressure on Steve, though. Wants to find this triple, of course, but Mike at a low percentage, 149. So not hopeless. Steve just wanted to make that as clean as possible. 149 needed for Mike here. This is a tricky take and will not go finding that single five. So the tricky 149 persists. The 45 will not bring him under a ton either. So this is a big opportunity for Steve Krikorian. Two-darter if he can just keep these darts straight. First dart is golden. Second dart, oh, down to double 15. And not able to cash in. So an awkward second dart on the wrong side of the wire. And 104 for Mike Parissi. This would be a monster take. 99 blows the opportunity. 24 score, leaving himself 80. Can't find that triple 20. He knows it. You could tell by the immediate reaction. Opportunity lost. And now Steve Krikorian, double 15 needed. Needs to work it inside if he can. And that's a little too far inside. Wanted to throw that dart away. Finds the 7. So 22 scored. Opportunity for Mike now to clean this up. Single 20 found. Double 20 needed. Needs to drop it low. And he finds it. Mike takes the opening leg against Steve Krikorian. That was a break. And now Mike gets to throw first. So a massive opportunity to go and jump up 2 legs if he can hold his throw here. Steve Krikorian will not be happy. Had it lined up, had it pretty much sealed. But that awkward double 5 just to the left of that double 20 segment might have sealed his fate in that leg. Critical mistake, critical error. Steve will be looking to refocus, find his tempo, find his, well, scoring potential and power, but not able to lock it in here. And this comes down to nerves. If these guys want this, it's one thing, and that's a great visit there from Mike Parissi. 125, immediate pressure on Steve Krikorian. As I was saying, it's one thing to be playing at home or playing on a league night, familiar environment. And these guys are used to playing here at Tee Up Tap Room, majority of them anyway. Tee Up Tap Room is such a great place to throw darts. If you're in the area, please check them out. But when you have a ton of pressure, playing for some, well, a spot to play in the WPL, it's hard to keep your nerves and your arm in line, your nerves together, your head in the same place. It's easy to get distracted or get your head in the clouds and overthink, overworry, and not let yourself be natural. Beautiful second dart found by Steve Krikorian, moving downstairs. Can't find the switch, but the 99 will do. Mike with a slight advantage here. 271. Looking for a big treble. Might be just a little low. Only able to find 59 there from Mike Parissi. Working his way down. 100 points clear. Steve Krikorian, who's looking for at least 2 trebles to really put the pressure back on Mike. Can't afford any wayward darts. Needs to keep these straight. At the very least in line. And that is exactly what we were, well, hoping against. Steve really struggling to put 3 in the bed. Mike just keeping a level head here. Finds that treble. This is going to be big if he can find another. Not happy with the release on that third one. He's in range now at 112. No pressure coming, so he'll have 6 darts added at the minimum. Steve Krikorian looking to answer the 180 call if he can. Pushes it wide, even with those slim flights. That was a nasty deflection. Only able to find 95. So 6 darts guaranteed here for Mike Parissi. 92 remaining. Wants that trip 20. Looks like just high. 72 remaining now. Goes downstairs for the 16s to leave himself 56. It's a great setup, great work there from Mike Parissi, 56 after 18. And Steve Krikorian struggling here against the firepower of Mike Parissi. Not even down to an out, unfortunately. Needs the ton, not able to lock it in. So a very tricky 120 remaining for Krikorian if Mike does not take this 56. 2 darts at double 20 now. Needs to drop it just a little low. And he's just low on that. So a huge opportunity to prevent Mike Parissi from going. 2 legs clear. Steve Krikorian needs this dart. At least 1 dart to go into that triple segment. Can he find it? He cannot. Opportunity burned here for Krikorian. And a throwaway dart, unfortunately, not happy. Frustration settling in. Mike Parissi for a dagger. Able to find it. 2 legs clear. That opening break from Mike Parissi proving its worth, able to capitalize. Krikorian in desperate need of a hold of throw. He cannot afford to have this opportunity that he has now to slip by the wayside. Needs to start cashing in. Because the way that Parissi is playing, I don't think this man's going to slow down anytime soon. He knows that this is a massive opportunity for a set against Krikorian. Beautiful third dart there from Mike Parissi. So difficult, so tricky to find those darts in when you need them to save your visit, but able to get the job done. Great work. Krikorian still not able to make this look easy, hunting around the board for any trouble he can find. Wayward dart there from Mike Parissi. Not a great dart at all. 45 found. Opportunity now for Steve Krikorian to really put the hurt on. Needs a big visit here. Just for his own confidence. That might be a tricky blocker with the way that that dart landed. Looking to go around it. Again, finding his way into that corner of the 1 segment. Not happy. Showing his frustration to the camera there. Parissi, opportunity given back. Pressure off of his shoulders. Needs a ton here if he really wants to put the hurt on. Can't do it, so neck and neck, both guys down the line here. Who is going to be the one that's really going to take advantage? Take this leg by the reins and start bending it to their will. Able to find that treble. Krikorian does very well. 84 locked in. Parissi, 315. Finds a beautiful first start. Needs another. Even a 140 will do quite nicely. Might be moving. Only finds the ton. Come on, Mike. Give the people what they want, man. We want a ton 80 so bad. We've been praying for one all day, and unfortunately it hasn't been answered. Steve Krikorian able to find that triple 20. So the scoring is starting to come alive here, folks. Tons abound. Big scores. 160 remaining for Steve Krikorian. 215 for Mike Parissi. Needs at least 1 treble to bring this within range. Needs a treble. Oh, 45 found. So 170, the biggest fish of them all. Versus Steve's 160. This will not go. First dart. Second dart not found either. Looking for at least a ton. Able to drop his score down to 100. So within range now. A little bit of a pad that Steve Krikorian has to. Oh my goodness. First dart found. Second dart in there. The big fish. The big fish. No! Oh, Mike Parissi. Come on, man. Oh! That would have been so cool if he was able to take that. Oh, my goodness. Doesn't happen very often, folks, but when it does, you got to get excited for it. Apologies for all the eardrums I just blew out. And the double-double will not go for Steve Krikorian. Able to find 80, but not able to have a look at a double out. 15 or 7. Double 16 for Mike Parissi. Double 8 now, just wide. And he's just wide again. You can see from the crowd in the background, these guys wanted him to hit it. And this is an opportunity that Steve Krikorian cannot afford to miss. Going upstairs now to double 5. And that is a bust if I've ever seen one. The pressure mounting, the nerves building. And Mike Parissi looking to just keep it level. Keep it steady. And Mike Parissi takes it. Look at the emotion on his face. He wanted that so bad. to go up 1-0 against Steve Krikorian. I have a feeling that Steve Krikorian might be shocked at the result of this. Mike is playing excellently. Steve had his opportunities, but not able to convert. And again, Steve Krikorian, the Season 1 champion, fighting for his place back in the league. A lot of work to do here after dropping the opening set. Finding that beautiful second dart, wants to follow it just high, but the 81 will do. That's quite serviceable in this position. Mike Parissi looking to keep this pressure on, does not want to let Steve pop off a leg or two here and start building some momentum. Has the opening set done. First job, first half done. Wants to convert and roll this over and do a 2-0 victory. Steve looking to throw a couple wrenches into that master plan. Not able to find that triple, so unfortunate, unlucky there. We'll see how Mike responds, if he can, with a big visit of his own. We'll see. Looks like high and wide, the first two darts. And again, for everybody just tuning in, the board is not shaking. Fortunately, the HVAC system is wiggling our camera around that we have centered on the board. Beautiful first dart there from Steve Krikorian, but again, that wayward dart just punishing scoring. And 135 fired in from Steve Krikorian. Great visit, great stuff. Mike needs a treble now to keep this going smoothly. Doesn't want to let Steve start hammering off these big scores. Not able to find a triple. 2-2-7 remaining for Steve Krikorian now. Only finding the one, not happy, but still two darts in hand. Needs a treble to save this visit. Able to find that so critical treble. 81 dropping his score down to 146, 238 remaining for Mike, who needs two trebles of his own to lock this score down to a manageable take. 138 still in the ballpark, but it's tricky, as is this 146 remaining for Steve. Triple 20 first dart won't go, so the bid is over. 126 remaining now. Able to find it. 80 scored. 66 remains. Not able to find that trip 10. He wanted to leave himself double 18, so still does very well to leave himself 60. 138 for Mike. Will not go either. 118 remaining now. Might move across to the trip 18s. Goes well high, so 58. Leaving himself 80. Neck and neck again down the line here. Who's going to have the better doubles? And Steve Krikorian fires away and locks that in. So after a 3-0 sweep, Steve Krikorian gets his first leg on the board. We are starting to see a little bit of momentum finally come Steve's way. He's been close, but he's just been a half step behind. It looks like Mike might have poked the bear a little bit too hard. Krikorian can keep this momentum going, keep this high scoring up. It's tricky to keep this level of play going for a long period of time. Mike going to the left on that second and third dart, so trouble might be brewing. Steve finally bringing his average up to a rather decent level now, 67.31. The wayward dart once more affecting his throw. 2 in that one segment. Does very well to find that triple 20. 455. Mike just looking to get out of the 400s. Not able to find the trip 19 switch, electing to stay there, and he's just low again. So what is brewing here, ladies and gentlemen? Something is stirring in this man here. He is finding the scoring potential that we know he's capable of, finding these random trebles. Fortunately not there, but it's enough to have a decent lead over Mike Parissi, who was so good in the opening set, taking it 3 legs to nothing. And now he's really struggling with his form. All of a sudden the game has evaporated, and Steve Krikorian just kind of sticking to the plan, not being too worried about it. And finding his way into that one segment, needs to keep these darts straight. 41 again. Not really capitalizing and punishing Mike. Mike with a big 140, 180 here can certainly swing the tide of momentum back in his favor, but he needs to start finding these trebles. The 60 is not good enough from his position. This is going to be a critical visit from Steve. He needs to find a treble. There it is. So now that you can immediately see the shake of the head from Mike. He knows that the pressure is starting to build. If Steve Krikorian goes up 2 legs, very unlikely that he's going to let that third leg go up easily. Right above that red segment for Mike, looking to stay there, use it as a guide. It will betray him. Unfortunately, the 26, just brutal. 167 now for Steve Krikorian, finding the first dart. Does not have to go for this. It won't go regardless, but even then, it did not have to go. Goes for the 18 correctly there with that third dart. Excellent 95 fired in. Mike all the way back on 297, so really struggling this leg, really struggling this set to get any sort of game going here worthy of challenging Steve's elevation and the standard of his play. 72 remains. 16 or, wanted to go for trip 16 there. 8 remaining. 64, I believe, left. That is just outside, so another 16 will do. Wow, right there. Steve uses quite thin points on those darts. That was worthy of a double check for sure. And Parissi just looking to try and hit a ton to get within range here, put some pressure on the shot. 60 is enough, but 152 versus 32. I think we all know which number we'd rather have. Double 16 now. Now to double 8. Needs to go up slightly. Needs to pull it inside. And it's wide. Oh, double 8 refusing to go, giving it a good hug, and this would be a dagger if Parissi can find it. The first dart's in. Second dart's high. The bid's over. So a breath of fresh air for Steve Krikorian. That was almost suffocating, but needs to find this double 4. It can be tricky here. Doesn't want to drop this too low. Walking it in. And outside, so Mike Parissi from all the way back in this leg, looking to bring it back. 50 remains. 10 or 18, thinking about it, taking a breath. Finding the 18 for double 16. And he misses the board. Unlucky slip of that dart. The pressure was so high. You have a feeling that Steve is not going to let him back to the board. Mike's smiling. He knows that that was a big waste of an opportunity. Up to the madhouse. Double 1. And he's low. 7 scored. Mike again trying to cash in on the opportunity given to him by Krikorian. Needs to take this. There it is. The second dart finds it. So the faffing about from Steve allows Mike to come back. Well, when he really shouldn't have. Steve had him well in beat. The averages, the scoring. And it was all destined to be finalized in the doubles. Double trouble persists for everybody at every standard of play. Steve looking to not let that bother him too badly. Just wants to keep this going. Able to lock in on that triple 20. Great third dart. 460 remaining now for Mike Parissi. Doesn't want to have the same thing happen again where he lets Steve run riot and come out to a rather sizable lead. Only able to find 60. So enough to leapfrog, but not enough to really be comfortable. Steve needs to walk those darts down. Going downstairs, doesn't like the lie of that dart. Can't find the switch onto that triple 19. Keeps it straight and steady, though. But still an opportunity here for Mike. If he finds 2 trebles, it's going to be quite tough. Able to find 1 in that segment. 85 found for Mike, so a good visit. Widening that leapfrog gap, but Steve well within range. Needs to find at least 1. Would love to. I mean, we would all love to, and that is a very, very bad dart. Not able to find the switch either. 45. Opportunity now for Mike Parissi. If he is able to hold his throw here, what a change of fortune that final leg, the previous leg would prove to be. No right coming back to win that leg. Steve Krikorian feeling the pressure. He's hit that segment, that one segment, same spot. I don't even know how many times this afternoon. He's not able, all over it, all around it, the sly smile. He knows that hurts. Mike Parissi, one in there. Not able to follow, but still plenty of space and able to hit the ton. So, 174, dragging himself closer. Steve Krikorian needs a 140. Unfortunately, we'll have to try and, well, be okay with just finding the ton. 174 to 176. Once again, neck and neck down the line for these guys. Now within range, just looking to set himself up. Tries to go to the 18, but just the wrong side of the wire. 52 found. Steve again looking for a 140. Oh, just wide. That's a killer second dart. Not able to find the switch down to the 19s. 42 found. 122 remains. A little bit better of a finish for Mike Parissi. Wants the trip 18. 72 potential. No, big one. Unlucky second dart. Might have just let that go a little too fast. Wasn't a poor dart. It was right there, but massive opportunity for Steve Krikorian. If he can find this trip 18, knows it. Knows that that was his chance. Can only set up from here. Finds the trip 20. 78 scored. Needs to do a little bit of math here. Can't find that trip 16. So, 86 scored. 96 remains for Mike Parissi. This would be a monster take. Able to find it. Double 18. Just high. Great guide, though. Oh, and he takes it. Mike Parissi with a statement take. 96. Steve Krikorian lined up on 48, and that is brutal. What a shot there from Mike Parissi. Steve Krikorian needs, well, he can't afford to not hit his numbers anymore. This is desperation time for the Season 1 champion. Mike Parissi looking to deny him a spot back in the league if he can just hold for one more leg. Errant second dart, can't find it. 95 fired in. Both guys off to a heater of a start. And Steve Krikorian just looking to keep these darts in line. Cannot afford to have left or right darts anymore. Great pickup with that second dart. And while he may not have liked the third, it's enough. It's enough to keep the ball rolling at a decent pace. And here we start to see the pressure of hitting a big shot like that. Oh my goodness, 81. I thought it was going to be a 121, but just on the wrong side of the wire. And these guys starting to really put the pressure on. That might be an awkward line, but Steve chooses to follow it. Is there even space for that dart to go in? No, there is not. Too many flights in the way. Opportunity now for Mike Parissi, if he can find a treble, to jump back in front. Only able to find 60. Both guys right there. This is too close to call. Parissi playing for a spot, playing for a victory. Steve just playing to stay alive for another set. 140 won't go. Oh, it does go, excuse me. The 140 is locked in. Thought it was on the other side of the wire, so leaving himself a very nice 120. And Mike Parissi needs to follow with a big answer of his own, at least a ton. Will leave himself a bogey number, so not great math, but if Steve messes this up, might be in range for a shot. The way that dart ramped up, that was quite aggressive. I like the aggressive look on that dart from Steve, but again, no pressure. Mike Parissi now finally at an out, 145 remaining. 65 remaining, I believe. Wanted that single bull. Fortunately hits the 2 segment, so it's awkward now. 83. Double 20 now. Just high. Great guide, though. Oh, my goodness. Yep, he knows it. He wanted that double 20, and he was convinced it was in. My goodness, that was close. And this is an opportunity. Trip 17 won't go. 66 remains now. 16 for the bull. You believe is the way. Bullseye, bullseye, bullseye. No, it won't go. I think it's a 25. Oh, my God, ladies and gentlemen. How close can you get? Oh, I don't even think he hit the bull. Oh, he did. He did. Oh, wow. What an opportunity for Mike Parissi. Steve Krikorian needs to keep this clean and tidy, though. Able to find it, so we are going all the way in this set. Mike Parissi to lead off. This is his hold. He should have this. Well, theoretically, if he can just keep this going, but 26 is a terrible way to lead off. Steve, again, just looking to keep this going. First dart found. Second dart found. Are we going to see the signs come out? No, we are not. Come on, guys. Just deliver the goods. Oh, come on. 121 found. Mike Parissi under immediate pressure. And the pressure is starting to build. That one might be killer here. If Steve can continue to just fire away on these trebles, that might be a very difficult line to follow. 2 darts blocking it. A fence has been built, but the third down in those 19s finds its way home. Huge pressure building for Mike. Needs to deliver at least 2 trebles. Yeah, you can tell in the look in his face. He knows how critical that was. Does very well to find that third dart, but 283 remaining. Steve has a comfortable little pad of points. If he can just keep delivering. Damage on that red segment. Looks like he's moving down, doesn't like the look. And, oh, that is a mistake and a half. Big miss there from Krikorian. Parissi looking to just try and keep steady. He has been so consistent this entire game. Needs to find 2 trebles, can only find 1, but he does very well to keep it close. Further along than Steve Krikorian. Steve, 1 dart in the red segment. Goes high on the second one, gonna be moving down. Finds the bullseye, so an excellent 130. Brings his score within range. 225 remaining now for Mike Parissi. He cannot afford to have a dart slip. Needs at least a ton. 58 is enough. It's enough. But is it enough to pressure? That's the question. A lot of pressure on this 125. A little bit of a laugh, maybe a misscore from Nick Soldo, who's doing a great job on the microphone, by the way. 125 for Steve Krikorian. I don't think that's in. I think that's in the 15. So 110 remaining. This bid will not go now. Mike Parissi, an outside shot on the 167. And that is a just critical miss there. But this 167, very low percentage shot, and it will not go. So the pressure building on Steve Krikorian. 89 is a tough customer, but can Steve cash him out? 89 remains. Trip 19, a little breath. Drawing back. Finds it. Double 16 to keep this game going. Well wide. And he pulls it up. So, again, it's not quite over. Double 12 will remain for Steve Krikorian, but 143 is even more difficult. Won't go here. So the opportunity, Steve's still alive. My goodness, how close this game is. Unbelievable. But we've seen Steve fool around on these doubles one too many times. Can he just drill it? Needs to drag it down. One more opportunity to drag this, and that's a very awkward line. Might be blocking the bed completely. Oh, my goodness. Practically hugging the double bed. 88 remains for Mike. Can he get it done? 68 remaining. 54. Double 7 now to win the game. Double 7. And he can't get it done. He pulls it inside. Steve Krikorian lives on for 3 more chances at double 6. How many chances is he going to need? Taking his time. Lining up. And there it is. We're going to a deciding set. Steve battling his way back. Keeping this game alive. And now, Steve Krikorian will have the darts in this final game-deciding set. Whoever wins this set qualifies for Season 4. Steve, the Season 1 champion, looking to buy his way back in to Season 4 with a victory here. Mike Parissi playing out of Route 9 Sports Bar in Framingham, wants to earn his first ever berth into the WPL. And we knew that this game was going to be tight. But how tight, man, we had no idea. This is a close game. Steve Krikorian now looking to try and, well, keep this scoring prowess going. Really did well in the previous set to bump up his scoring game. Still has a couple darts moving left or right. Not cooperating with his mechanics and throw. Mike Parissi just looking to avoid whatever Steve has with those errant darts from impacting his game too often. Sometimes those wayward darts can be a little contagious. Wide first dart there from Steve Krikorian. 2 wide darts. You cannot afford to have 2 big misses like that and not hit a triple on the last. Opportunity now for Mike Parissi to keep this going. And if he can find a break in this opening leg, that would be massive. Able to find the ton, so delivering some well-deserved punishment on Steve Krikorian with that third dart find. Awkward first dart. Second dart cashes in. And the third dart follows the seconds line. Wow. Great response and great answer from Steve Krikorian. Firing back with immediate pressure of his own. Mike Parissi needs a ton. The very least, not able to get it done. So 217, these guys once again find themselves locked in a close battle right above 170 finishing threshold. Needs to find, sneaks it into the trip 7. So very awkward 59 there, so close to having that cash in on that trip 19. Mike Parissi, 195 remaining now, 194 after that errant second dart. Not good at all. Mike Parissi, the sneer on his face, you could tell. Low percentage 158 opportunity here. First dart is found for Steve Krikorian. Not able to find the second one, but he still will have 3 more darts after this visit, guaranteed. 98 is brilliant, leaving himself 60. Mike Parissi, 174, no way to get out, and that second dart is just brutal. 30 is not what he was looking for. Still leaves himself a very low percentage shot. And Steve, I have a feeling, well, don't want to be messing around too much here. 19 now for double 20. Should have had 2, only will have 1. And he pulls it high, not satisfied with that dart at all. Mike Parissi, 144. Can he get it done? No, he cannot. Just looking to bring this score down. Pulls it well wide, unfortunately. More opportunities here for Steve Krikorian to just wrap this leg up. It's a hold of throw. He should have this. Cannot afford to let Mike come back in. Mike not able to have the chance there. But that was just a hold of throw from Steve Krikorian. Mike now needs to answer with a very crucial hold of his own. Dropping down 2 legs to nothing here against Steve Krikorian is an ominous position to be in. Trying to avoid it, but the way he gets off here, gets off the line, not great at all. Able to pip that trip 18 right in the bottom corner. So Steve Krikorian getting underway well here in this second leg. There's that triple that Mike was hunting for so desperately. Not able to find another, but the 100 will do quite nicely. 408 for Steve Krikorian. Looking to drop that dart in just ever so slightly. Does find it. Chooses to stay there. And again, we've seen that time and time again where just the line with the flights in the way causes the throw to not be as smooth as the first or second. And that's a great visit there from Mike Parissi to keep Steve honest, now leapfrogging him by 40 or so points. Steve Krikorian choosing to stay. We've seen this problem again and again. I just don't understand why he doesn't go down, able to lock that in. Might be the camera angle. Maybe the bet is bigger from his point of view. Great visit from Steve Krikorian. Parissi just looking to keep this going. Solid 100. 100 found there from Parissi and keep this thing moving along. Steve Krikorian in desperation mode of a triple, able to lock it in, so he is down to an out now. 142 is low percentage. Mike needs to find 2 trebles now to have some semblance of pressure on Steve, who doesn't want to, boy, unfortunately not a great visit, but now Steve feels like he at the very least, could have 3 extra darts at this 142. It will not go, but it's the feeling, that little security, the insurance that you have of knowing that you might not have to take it. Not happy with that effort at all. Mike Parissi just has to stay on that triple 20. Elects to go 18 first smartly, so 110 left. Bullseye, bullseye, bullseye. Oh, and he pulls it high. Not able to find it. What a great bid from Mike. Leaving himself 25. And this 101. So critical now for Steve. 81 remaining. Trip 15 or trip 19 won't go. 62 remaining for Steve Krikorian. And so Mike Parissi now in an excellent position to just set this up. Tee it up. Tee up tap room. Hey. Doesn't want to, well, that is now extremely awkward. That is an unfortunate dart. Chooses to leave himself double 2. Oh, and he finds it. Makes a mess of it and then cleans the mess right up. An excellent, excellent performance there from Mike. Proving that, hey, doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get there. And he checks out. Even game going down to the wire between both of these gladiators of the darting arena. 40 found for Steve Krikorian. Not a great way to get things underway. Parissi looking to just punish. A little bit of sign action in the background. Tony Collette. We'll go to the wide shot there. We can see Tony in the background just cheering along with his sign. Love that. Thank you, Tony. Can't quite read what they're saying, but we'll get back to that in a little bit. Look at all these guys. Fantastic stuff. Love those guys, everybody with their little signs. We haven't seen a 180 be delivered yet, but there is still time. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. There is still always time. Sign says, I love Tee-Up Tap Room. Hi, Marty. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate that, man. He slid it under the door. Love those guys. Such good people here at Tee-Up Tap Room. Again, if you're looking for a great place to drink, great place to play golf, great place to play darts, there's really no better spot here than Tee-Up Tap Room. Just fantastic. Wonderful stuff. Mike only able to find 59. So unlucky. Steve Krikorian, 389 remaining now. Oops. Sorry, folks, for those little ping sounds. That's us. Definitely us. Going to close that tab on my computer here so you guys don't have to hear that go constantly throughout the match. 101 found there for Steve Krikorian. Mike Parissi with a beautiful first dart. Unfortunate second just clattering against the flights. And the third dart finds its way true. 140 punched in. Big pressure back on Steve. Needs to keep these darts a-rolling. First dart, money. Second dart, little high. And another big visit. Back-to-back 140s. Both guys delivering the goods. Steve trying to hold his throw here. 252 remaining for Mike Parissi. Only able to find 60. Steve requiring 148 now. Will have 6 darts at it. Doesn't wow, but we've seen this time and time again where he has space to work with. The first dart sometimes just not working in his favor. 87 remains here for Steve. Able to lock that beautiful third dart in. 112 fired in. 36 remaining now. Mike, desperate need of a 140 with that first dart. Bare minimum, you feel. Ton might just not be enough pressure. Able to find it, so a chance. There's a chance if Steve messes about on this double 18. Needs to get it done, though. First dart a little wide. Might be an awkward line. Definitely an awkward line now. 2 darts high, having to move across. And he can't get it done. So Mike Parissi, if he finds this break, he will have the darts in the next leg. Can he hunt down this 92? 72 remaining now. Trip 12. Finds so 80, so double six. Oh, and he pulls it wide. A great effort to find that triple 20. Elects not to move. And now, Steve Krikorian, double 9. Cannot afford to burn a dart. Needs to pull this in. And that is a very awkward line now. 2, building the fence. Can he find it? No, he cannot. The fence says no. You can't come into this backyard. You're not invited to this party. Mike Parissi, double 6. Going down to the basement. Well low, needs to elevate, and he just can't find the height required. It's such a tricky double to try and work with. This is awkward. Very awkward, ladies and gentlemen. Double 9 now for Steve. Can he find it? 12. So double 6. It's a double 6 party. Double 3 remaining here. Excuse me, my bad. I got so excited about double 6s, but double 3, this is beyond awkward. This is the place nobody wants to go. And that's why it's so difficult electing to bust. Steve Krikorian unhappy with that bid. Mike Parissi still there, double 3. Oh my goodness, how close can you get? Oh, and that's so tough. That's why it's called the basement for a reason. Nobody wants to go down there. The basement's scary. Some scary machines, scary things. Hopefully not scary people down in that basement. But regardless, 18 now. Another chance for Steve Krikorian trying to tee this up. Wide. Needs to pull it inside. And that is going to frustrate Steve beyond a reasonable doubt. Double 9 refuses to go. Mike Parissi stuck in the madhouse. Doesn't want to be certified insane for too long. 2 chances left. And there it is, the break. You can see how much that means to Mike. That is an opportunity wasted from Steve Krikorian. Mike is now throwing for the game. If he does not get it done here, Steve Krikorian will have the darts in the final game-deciding leg. Mike wants to clean up this game now. Can he find a treble? Unfortunately, can't get it done. 60 is steady, but it's not stellar. Steve Krikorian just above the wire there. Just above the wire there. And can't lock it in. 60 for both gentlemen to get this leg underway. Who is going to blink? Who is going to let the situation get into their mind? Mike has the opportunity here to just keep this steady. And things should theoretically go his way. Unbelievable. That is a very awkward dart. Might even be pointing down there from Steve Krikorian. Able to find that triple 20, I believe. 85 found for Steve Krikorian. Great effort to correct off of that really strange first dart. Mike Parissi now looking to join the correction club. Might be in there, might not sure. Only able to find 45, so a big blank there from Parissi. Steve Krikorian. Steady as she goes. That's all that's needed, Captain. Very, very turbulent waters. Not able to find anything. The situation, 24, not ideal. And now, well, both of these guys just not taking advantage of these critical misses. That's 2 scored. Someone move down to the 19s, please. 21 fired in. Oh, my God, the nerves. It's even starting to get to me, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is the easiest job in the world, and I'm still feeling nervous for these guys. My goodness. Wide, both darts. Third dart finding its way into the 20 segment, but 24, 21, 30 has been the, well, succession here. And Mike finding a great triple 20. Second dart not in. 83 will do. Just break away from this slop that we're dealing with right now. 3:02 remaining for Steve Krikorian. 40, I believe, punched in here, wants the ton. The flights, even though he throws thin flights, they are finding ways to kick up. Those darts have them land in such awkward positions, so weird. Might be a blocked bed, still looking like he's going for it. Able to punch his way through. That is a statement dart. Down to the line first, 147. A ton minimum needed here for Steve Krikorian for any semblance of pressure. Needs a triple. He's drowning without one. Not able to get it done. Shake of the head. A look to the sky. 147 is all that remains for Mike Parissi to get this wrapped up. It will not go here, but he will have 3 darts at it guaranteed, looking to just clean this up. 67 remaining now. Able to find that 17. 97 found. What is Steve Krikorian going to do? These are the moments that separate great dart players from the best of the bunch. Needs another triple. Not able to lock it down. 59. 50 remains for Mike Parissi. Looking to wrap it up. 2 darts at double 16. Well wide. Keep it straight and steady, and he can't get it done. So an outside opportunity. 140 remains now for Steve Krikorian. This would be a monster. Is his resolve strong enough to keep these darts straight? No, it will not go. Needs a ton at the very minimum. Able to find it, but now relying on mistakes from this man in the frame. Double 8. Oh, it's awkward. 5 remaining. 1 or 3. Finds it. Double 2. And it's high. It's high. Steve Krikorian with the chance that he didn't think he had. Double 20 to keep this going for one more leg. And it's found. We're going all the way. Steve Krikorian will have the darts. The Season 1 champ is not going without a fight. Mistakes abound. Wow. Unbelievable segments of play here from both gentlemen. But now it comes down to this. What are you really made of? Which guy is going to be in Season 4? Looking for the switch, moving around the board, not able to find a treble. 57 fired in. Mike Parissi looking to answer with a big one. Can he find a red bit? Looks like he might be low. Too high, excuse me. 60 found. Oh, boy. Ladies and gentlemen, what a treat this game has been. A day of 2-0s on the stream. We are being treated here. Big miss on that second dart. Big miss on the third. Steve blinks. Is Mike going to take advantage of the blink? Needs to find a treble. Not able to hunt one down. The little gap is formed, but it's not enough to be comfortable quite now, is it? Awkward line with the way that dart landed. Second dart, the fence is being built. Can he find a way through? He can. Not. Only finding 60. Frustration for Steve Krikorian. Might be a great guide if he can just ramp it down. Wants another one in there. 140 found there from Mike Parissi. Statement visit. Pressure building. The kettle is starting to whistle. Needs to go down. Doesn't like the line. Not able to find it. 47 locked in from Steve Krikorian. 242. Mike Parissi, how can he keep himself calm in moments like this? How can anyone do that? Not able to find a treble. 58's enough. It's enough. 184 remaining. Well in front of Steve Krikorian. Needs a 180. Needs to fill this up if he wants to have a chance. That second dart goes well wide. Not enough. It's just not enough. 184 now. Even a 60 will put Mike Parissi in a comfortable position if he can just keep these darts straight. Just keep it straight, Mike. Don't mess about. Finds the 60. That's enough. Forces Steve Krikorian to hit at least a ton 40 for any semblance of pressure. How good is your resolve, Steve? First dart just high. Second dart ramps up. The dart's just not cooperating. Needs the 100. Needs the ton. Thinking about if he wants to move or not, but needs a big visit here at the minimum. Goes down. Doesn't find it. Advantage. Mike. Steve leaves himself 167. First dart found. 64 remains. That is a very poor second dart. Might have been wiser just to stay, honestly, with the line on that dart. Man, it might have just been wiggling around too much. 167. Can he force this life-saving throw to go? No, he cannot. He wants to just keep it steady, keep it straight. So that's still good pressure. Steve Krikorian, 87. Great pressure on the throw of Mike, who just needs one dart to go in to end it. Needs to bring it down. Needs to bring it down. Oh, he can't bring it down. So the Season 1 champion with an opportunity here to seal the deal all the way, hold his throw. Mike has done so well to put him under duress, stress, pressure. Can he lock this down? 2 double 20s needed. How is he going to go about it? Don't bust your score, Steve. Double 10 moving across. Double 10 for a berth into Season 4. Can the Season 1 champ gather his nerves? It's up to you, Steve. And it's outside. He can't get it done. The stress of the moment is just killer. Mike Parissi, 3 more chances at it. Can't afford to let it slip. Needs to drop it down. Needs to drop it down. And it's just refusing to go. Look at that. They've bent the wire. Unbelievable. How close can you get, ladies and gentlemen? The Season 1 champion with chances that he can't afford to miss anymore. 3 darts at it. Down to double 7. It's awkward. And it's over. The chance is over. It's not done yet, but man, what a blown opportunity. Mike, how many shots at this are you going to need, man? Just breathe. Just breathe, Mike. And it's it! Mike Parissi gets it done and takes out Steve Krikorian, denying him a Season 4 berth. Congratulations, Mike, for your first entry into the WPL season. Unbelievable game between these two guys. To have this go the distance, obviously Steve Krikorian is going to be disappointed, but what a performance locked down by Mike. You could tell both guys with nerves all the way at the end. Wow. Talk about needing a steely resolve to keep that in check. Unbelievable. And ladies and gentlemen, as we go to the wide shot here, seeing everybody in attendance, seeing the little crowd that we have going here at Tee Up Tap Room. And so the congratulations are going for the individuals who have qualified, Mike Parissi and Freddie Kreuger. Congratulations, guys. You have entered your way into Season 4 beginning March 9th. Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we go to the final bracket here, it has been a spectacular day of darts at Tee Up Tap Room. We started the day off with Scott Moran versus Charlie Samios, 2-0. Scott's favor. That was a very close battle between these two guys, but Charlie just not able to actually keep up with Scott's scoring power. Steve Krikorian versus Chris Bavota. Obviously, since Steve made the game versus Mike Parissi, we know the outcome of that match, but all came down to just doubles, consistency. And then Freddie Kreuger moving on versus Scott Moran, just absolutely drilling the trebles in every single segment of the board, not missing any of his switches. And what a game that we just saw between Steve Krikorian and Mike Parissi. Excellent, excellent game. Mike Parissi will be playing in the league for the first time. Steve Krikorian will have to wait for another opportunity, Season 5 play-in, to come back to the league. But, ladies and gentlemen, wow. To go back to the board view. Oh, look at that beautiful man there on the stream. Unbelievable. I love that guy so much. That's it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what a day of darts. My name is Marty Martinez. We are gearing up for a bigger, better, more spectacular upcoming Season 4. We have more sponsors, a bigger prize pool. More details are coming soon later this month as we wrap up our sponsorship window in the upcoming season. Guys, if you haven't already, follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. And please be sure to send some love to Tee Up Tap Room here in Worcester. If you are looking for a place to play darts, play golf, and even have a beer or share a drink with a friend in this very, very cold time of the year, there's no better place to do it than Tee Up Tap Room. Be sure to come on down 5:30 for the luck of the draw and send some love to U.S. Sports and Apparel and the Balboni Darts for being here on site. Guys, it's been a pleasure. We will see you all in a couple of weeks, and we hope, come back for the Season 5 play-in later this year. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful night. See you soon.